legend Pichichi played for this club a long time ago. Pichichi, actually, the nickname means little duck, and he was slight of frame, but he was a mighty player, scored lots of goals for Athletic Bilbao. It's Arsenal's first ever game, competitive game against Athletic Bilbao, and that is one of the great traditions of this great football club. And now the atmosphere builds again ahead of kickoff, and Arsenal sort of try and seal themselves away from it a little bit. They're in a team huddle down, way down below us on that pitch, and they just break away from that. David Raya gives Calafiori a big hug. The Arsenal fans, just under 3,000 of them, up high away to our right-hand side. Few of the Arsenal flags you can see there at the front of their section, behind the netting, and the game is about to get underway. Only two English clubs have ever won here in European competition. Manchester United did it last season, first leg of the Europa League semi-final. Liverpool did it at the old San Mamés Stadium back in 1983-84. A certain Ian Rush scored the only goal of the game en route to winning the European Cup that season. That is what Arsenal are trying to do this season for the first time in their history. And their Champions League campaign gets underway. Rice plays it back to Raya. Raya goes long. Marino heads it forward. Headed away by Danny Vivian. Nodded down the line by Timber. And then hoofed away by Adama Boiro, who starts at left back for Athletic Bilbao. And it is a really interesting team selection from the home team, Paul Robinson. 4 changes. The 4 have come in. It's their first starts of the season for all of them.
Yeah, big changes from the Atletico Bilbao manager. And I think, obviously, they lost last time out at home against Alaves to a surprise defeat to an own goal. They had a great start to the season. Other than that, maybe that's something the coach is thinking. They actually played a friendly game during the international break. The coach had the majority of their players. They had a friendly game behind closed doors. So you do wonder whether those selections have come from something like that.
I'll remind you of the two team lineups in just a second when we get our first break in play. Just under a minute in, Arsenal seeing lots of the ball. Gabriel is the captain. William Saliba on his way back to fitness on the bench, but Christian Mosquera, the 21-year-old Spaniard signed from Valencia, who's done really well since coming into the Arsenal team, pressed into emergency action at Anfield when Saliba went down, did really well against Nottingham Forest at the weekend. Jeers and whistles for Raya on the ball for Arsenal. It comes into midfield. It's played back by Zubamendi to the goalkeeper again. Now out to Gabriel. Athletic Bilbao in the red and white vertical stripes, red panels on their backs with white numbers on those, black shorts and black socks. Paul.
Another interesting change from the manager. We spoke about the formation before and who may be the threat, but actually they're in a very, very orthodox 4-4-2 formation. Inaki Williams, the captain, he's up front alongside Santhet. Berenguer, who we thought might be deployed down the centre, he's actually playing on the right-hand side. They're quite happy here at the moment without the ball. They're quite sacrificial in possession, allowing Arsenal to dominate the possession, as you can probably tell by the noises in the background.
Zubamendi plays to Timber. Timber dummy to pass up the touchline, nearly lost the ball there. Mosquera gives it a good thump across the halfway line. It bounces on the halfway line, hoisted forward into the Arsenal half. Zubamendi comes forward to win the header. Eza nods it back into his own half. Got a shove in the back, no free kick. The referee's going to let that go. The ball is back with David Raya. So Eza making a Champions League debut. So is Mosquera at the back for Arsenal. And Noni Madueke played in Champions League qualifying rounds for PSV Eindhoven. This is his first appearance in the competition proper. Timber plays back to Mosquera. Mosquera across to Gabriel, just outside the Arsenal penalty area. The pitch pretty much entirely draped in shade. A few splashes of sunshine down there. Just coming up to 7 o'clock local time in the evening in northern Spain as Gabriel goes long, looking for Gyökeres, beaten in the air by Paredes. Gyökeres battles again. The ball bounces in the centre circle. Paredes nips in, lofts the ball up in the air. It's brought down here by Timber. He goes to Madueke on the right-hand side, and immediately those red and white shirts are back so quickly and surrounding Arsenal when they get into possession in attacking positions.
Well, defensively they're excellent. I mean, they had the best defensive record in La Liga last season. Obviously took them to the semi-final of the Europa League here, where they lost 3-0 to Manchester United, but they went down to 10 men. But obviously Vivian and Paredes, the two centre-halves, they form a great partnership, and they're very, very defensively organised. Valverde works very hard on the training ground with them out of possession.
Gabriel's ball forward, intercepted by Paredes. He plays it through the middle of the pitch here. Possibly a chance to hit a shot from range. They still keep coming. Calafiori gets a foot in. Important foot in for Arsenal before David Raya was about to be tested. Home fans love the early attacking initiative from Athletic Bilbao. Push on Timber. Free kick for Arsenal in the middle of their own half. So coming up to 4 minutes played in the Champions League. First round of fixtures in this league phase this season. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Paul Robinson.
Yeah, we talk about the tough test for Arsenal coming here tonight, and you know, people will say, oh, they come out of pot 4, but when you look at their record last year, and when they got to the semi-final of the Europa League, like we just said, they finished 4th behind Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. 70 points in the league last season, whilst at the same time having the best defensive record. This is a tough test for Arsenal tonight, and if they get through this, it'll be a big statement.
Incredibly experienced manager as well, Ernesto Valverde, third spell in charge of the club. Has managed more games in charge of Athletic Bilbao than any other. 457 and counting this evening. Former Barcelona boss who famously was in charge when Barcelona lost that Champions League semi-final second leg at Anfield against Liverpool by 4-0. This is Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tottenham Villarreal commentary from 8 o'clock this evening. We'll keep you across all the goals as they go in. League Cup commentaries on the Sports Extra networks as well. And Arsenal just playing some patient keep ball inside the Athletic Bilbao half. Pass from Madueke, doesn't quite find Timber. Interception from Boiro, goes out for an Arsenal throw. Timber takes that quickly, down the line to Gyökeres. He holds it up, can't find Marino. Zubimendi's there to intercept the ball forward, then Marino plays a pass back into his own half and finds Gabriel, and Arsenal quickly ship it out to the left-hand side. Here's Calafiori, the pass is beyond Eza, it'll run out for a throw-in to Athletic Bilbao.
Not sure that Arsenal expected to have this much early possession from the start. We're coming up to the 6th minute of the game, but they've had the majority of the ball, rotating possession, keeping the ball. I think with the atmosphere and the way that Athletic Club do normally start games, they expected to be pressed high. Athletic Club had one attempt coming down the right-hand side, but actually Arsenal have controlled the tempo of the game.
6 minutes in, 0-0. Long ball downfield, headed forward by Mosquera. Rice can't quite control it. Comes off his right boot and goes out for a throw-in to Athletic Bilbao. The offside flag was up, so it's actually going to be a free kick to the home team. Don't forget Champions League highlights back on the BBC as well this season. So 10:40 tomorrow on BBC One. Mark Chapman has Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Julien Laurent as his guests, and BBC Two on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Gabby Logan will host the show. Newcastle, Barcelona, Manchester City, Napoli amongst the highlights. We've got commentary tomorrow night on 5 Live of Bayern Munich against Chelsea, and Thursday night Newcastle, Barcelona with Manchester City, Napoli on Sports Extra. Arsenal with defending to do. The ball breaks here to Hauragiza, chips it into the area, cross back across goal. Really important interception from Gabriel. The danger is not averted just yet. Driven shot from the edge of the box. Gabriel is there again. Athletic Bilbao fans appealing for a foul on Hauragiza on the edge of the box, and the referee agrees, and not only that, gives the free kick and books Declan Rice for the challenge.
Yeah, he's got his arms in the air, Declan Rice protesting his innocence to the referee, but it was clever play from Hauragiza there. Central midfielder, he's a deep line midfielder, he's always available. Chips a ball over the top, looking for Inaki Williams. Ball comes back out to Hauragiza, looks to strike it first time. Declan Rice just gets there after he's made connection with the ball, goes over the top, catches the Athletic Club player, and they've got a free kick in a really dangerous area.
Berenguer is one of those who stands over the ball. The left back Adama Boiro comes forward as well, and you could see how it would suit the left footer because the ball is just outside the Arsenal penalty area in the inside right channel. Arsenal have all the big men lined up in a 5-man wall, and someone's going to have to do the old draft excluder job as well. But at the moment David Raya is down on his haunches, all in green away to our right, getting the wall in the right position. It could be Alex Berenguer and it could be Adama Boiro, and as you can hear, the stadium is pumped. Bright white line of vanishing spray just across the boot tops of the Arsenal defenders in that wall. David Raya just trying to make sure he's got a view to the right-hand side of the Arsenal wall as he looks out. And the wall is going to try and protect the left of his goal for him. Long shrill blast on the whistle. It is Berenguer. Backheels it. Boiro hit that hard. Ball is loose inside the Arsenal area. And it's cleared away by Timber. The shot was on target. It just couldn't get through all the bodies. Another cross comes into the Arsenal penalty area. Timber heads it away. Eza's going to chase, try and win possession for Arsenal. He can't do that. More thunderous applause rings around this stadium, and there's Gorosabal, the right back, playing back to Vivian, and in the end they come back to their goalkeeper. Spain's number one, Unai Simon, all in bright orange, he's overhit that pass, it bounces twice, and his international teammate David Raya chests it down, and Arsenal will start to play out.
It was a good set play that from Athletic Club, really well worked. Berenguer looked like he was going to strike the ball, and the Arsenal ball actually moved to the left when he was going to strike it, rolled it under the sole of his foot to Boiro, who struck it with his laces, thankfully for Arsenal, found his own player and made the block, no real danger.
Former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson with us at the San Mamés Stadium. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. That is Mosquera. Chips the ball to the right. Timber's got a leap there. No, he can't keep that in play. Wouldn't have even caught that with his hands at the peak of his jump. It was an overhit pass. It's gone out for the Athletic Bilbao throw. They've taken it. They've come back into their own half. And of course, Kepa, who is now Arsenal's backup goalkeeper, was an Athletic Bilbao player. Chelsea bought him from this club for a massive sum, which was ploughed back into facilities in the academy and such like, and has done a lot of good for the club. And Unai Simon has just continued as the club's goalkeeper all the way through.
I've never been to the training facilities, but I can vouch that they're very plush and excellent. We flew over them yesterday, saw them as we came into land, and they're rather nice. They've got quite a few pictures, huge building with their crest emblazoned on the top of it.
Paredes.
So that'll be thanks to Kepa.
Yes, indeed. Here's Gabriel, sticks a foot in. Eza, clever little ball over his right shoulder, releases Rice, charges forward down the left, offside flag stays down. Gyökeres in the penalty area with the cutback, intercepted by Vivian at the near post, then the offside flag goes up, so they were waiting to see what happened in the attacking phase of play. Assistant referee raises his flag, and Athletic Bilbao will have the free kick. 10 minutes in, Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0, and I haven't heard otherwise, so I'm presuming, I'm just going to check, PSV 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, which is the other early kickoff in the Champions League this afternoon. I will bring it up on my screen in just a second. Free kick coming here for the home team. Unai Simon places the ball down 7-8 yards outside his own penalty area, drives it forward with his right foot to the edge of the Arsenal box. It bounces dangerously. Navarro will get there wide on the left. Timber is breathing down his neck, sticks the right foot in, and it goes out for the throw into Athletic Bilbao. And in fact, no, I'm wrong, Union Saint-Gilloise have scored early in that game. So in the 9th minute, they have taken the lead away from home against PSV. So that is your first goal in the Champions League phase this season. Union Saint-Gilloise, playing in their first ever Champions League, have taken the lead at PSV. Long throw into the penalty area. All the rage nowadays are long throws. Mikel Arteta was asked about that. Was that a handball by Eza, edge of his own box? Referee says no. Athletic Bilbao, though, have the ball on the right with Berenguer. Berenguer is shadowed by Eza, plays the ball back to Houda Geitha. Sanfet gets the ball back with a little back heel from Gorosabal. Then the cross comes into the far post. Dangerous ball. Timber tries to head it away. Iñaki Williams behind him, couldn't control it with his head. It's gone behind for the goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, they're looking more and more dangerous, Athletic Club. There's a wonderful ball across the 6-yard box there. No Arsenal defender could touch it. Timber actually does really well at the far post just to leave it to Iñaki Williams. He's the one who ends up putting it out for a corner. But it's Santhet, gets in on the right-hand side, plays a really nice 1-2. Lays the ball back, and it's played right across the 6-yard box. Very difficult to defend. Williams puts it out for a goal kick in the end. Athletic Bilbao, currently second in La Liga, started the season with 3 wins out of 3, then rather surprisingly lost at home in this stadium at the weekend, local derby as well, against Alaves. Raya clears first time with his right foot. That's not going to find a teammate. You've got a Sarbel, can let the ball bounce and go out of play for a throw in a relatively attacking position here for Athletic Bilbao. Mikel Arteta looks slightly exercised. He's going to be warmed down there. Dark black jumper, tight-fitting grey trousers, black shiny shoes on the edge of the pitch here. Paredes plays the ball back to the goalkeeper Simon. Simon delicately floats it forward. Berenguer sticks out the studs of his right boot, gets a touch on the ball. 50-50 now. Eza and Rice have lost it. Here's Berenguer dribbling forward for Athletic Bilbao, hits the shot into the legs of Gabriel, and it goes off the Brazilian for a corner. Yeah, they're certainly on the front foot now, Athletic Club. Berenguer getting in some really dangerous positions on this right-hand side. Having the most joy on the right-hand side. Santhet's drifting over to this right-hand side, taking on Calafiori, doubling up on him. Iñaki Williams looking for the runs in behind. got themselves a corner, but you can tell by the noise in the stadium, the team and the supporters are growing in confidence.
Almost 14 minutes played, still 0-0. Berenguer with the corner, away swinger, headed away at the near post. Half volley from Howard Geetha goes straight up in the air. Raya spilled it, but he's okay. It bounced in front of him, and he catches it on that bounce and then runs out to the edge of the penalty area. Made his 100th appearance for Arsenal in the 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest on Saturday, keeping a 42nd clean sheet. Spoke really well, I thought, actually, in the press conference yesterday. Here's Marino battling for the ball in the Arsenal midfield. He's down on the floor and he's lost it. So here come Athletic Bilbao again. That is Sancet, who's in this front two with Iñaki Williams. 17 goals he scored last season, third top scorer in La Liga, behind Lewandowski and Mbappe. There's Vivian, plays it into the midfield to Howard Geetha. Short pass from him to his right-hand side to Sancet. He's got Declan Rice in his way. Athletic Bilbao working into the middle of the pitch here. And Vesga, Mikel Vesga, one of the 4 changes, one of the ones to come into the starting lineup this evening, lays the ball off, makes a run through the middle of the pitch. Howard Geetha, the 21-year-old, nice turn and pass. Navarro to his right-hand side. Here's Sancet. Sancet is closed down by Calafiori. Pass comes back to Gorosabal. Berenguer just holds off the challenge there from Gyökeres. Short pass to Navarro again, turning inside the box, then tries to chip a ball to the far post. Blocked at close range. Marino wins a header. He's fouled in mid-air. He makes the most of that as he falls, sort of wriggling around like a fish that's just been hoisted out of the river, and the referee's buying that and says free kick to Arsenal.
I think he knows that his team needed that, Mikel Marino. His team are a little bit under pressure there. They're not getting close enough at the moment, Arsenal. Athletic Club have kicked into gear. They're keeping the ball, they're rotating possession, they're finding the little pockets. Arsenal playing with the 3 in midfield, Rice, Zubamendi and Marino. They're actually being very narrow because of the way that Athletic Club are playing, which is forcing Eze and Madueke deeper to try and cover the wing-backs that are pushing on.
Look at you giving it the old Athletic Club, getting in with the locals.
That's what I've been told now. We all know what we're talking about, don't we?
We do.
That lot in red and white.
Yeah.
But by the way, I've never been inside a football stadium where almost every single person has got the home shirt on.
Yeah.
It's red and white everywhere. It's like a Sabutio stadium, isn't it?
And we were in the stadium quite early, but you showed me the footage when you were here last season of the build-up in the streets outside the ground as well, and it's just again awash with everyone in the red and white shirts. Rice stretching, loses the ball inside his own half, and Gorosabal plays back to Unai Simon, which is why one of my questions in the presentation last night was, can a kid grow up in this city and choose to support any other club? And the answer to that basically is no. You've got no chance. Absolutely no chance.
But you can see the pride and the passion and what it means to the city. You talk about a one club city, but actually the club is at the heart of the city, isn't it, where the stadium is?
Marino is definitely fouled there by Boiro, just short of the halfway line. Well, exactly, Paul, and you think about the club you used to play for. Harry Kane playing for them, he's one of our own, that's such a big thing. The entire team here, throughout their history pretty much, they are all ones of their own. That is how it works, and that's why you have such an attachment to your football club. And the other point that was made to me last night was when they lose games, the fans don't necessarily get on the team's back because they do feel as one with them. This is a good move building up for Arsenal. Gyökeres couldn't quite control the ball from Timber. Hoisted away in the air again by Gorosabal. Marino chases it back, awkward, couple of bounces here. Navarro behind him, gets it back to Raya. Bobbling pass, and Raya clears it first time, chested down by Timber. Zubamendi's got time to get his head up here, lofts it on the half volley with his left foot. Gyökeres sticks out a right boot, then barges into Paredes, and the assistant referee waves his flag and says that is going to be a free kick to Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0, and Union Saint-Gilloise 1-0 up away to PSV. Tottenham Villarreal's our commentary at 8. And we'll bring you the goals from some great games tonight. Real Madrid in action at home against Marseille, Juventus against Borussia Dortmund, and Benfica against Karabakh. It's back, Paul. The Champions League is back.
You like saying that, don't you? That team's name.
Which one?
The one that are playing PSV.
Union Saint-Gilloise.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, well, Julien Laurent got in touch actually before the show and said, make sure you pronounce that right. So I'm probably butchering it actually, to be fair, but giving it my best shot. Simon. Athletic Bilbao's goalkeeper clears it, hits Calafiori on the thigh. He then leans in, chests the ball down to himself, lays it back into Zubamendi. Chip ball forward, intercepted by Paredes. Scruffy football here at the moment. Mosquera lets that bounce. Timber jumps, wins a header. Marino leant towards that. I think that might have hit his arm. Yes, referee spotted that. That's going to be a free kick for Athletic.
Scrappy, isn't it? Neither team really settling in the last 5-6 minutes or so. Interesting thing for Arsenal is Gyökeres he's cutting a very, very lonely figure. Like I said, the possession that Athletic Bilbao have had, it's forced Eze and Madueke into more of a defensive position. So every time Arsenal have turned over possession, Gyökeres is isolated and he's chasing down lost causes. I'd be surprised if he's touched the ball more than once.
Free kick then, Athletic Bilbao, middle of the Arsenal half. Now that comes in at pace, but it's straight at Raya. He's in a good position, edge of the 6-yard box, and he puts his hands in front of his face and catches the ball cleanly, then bowls it out overarm, and Calafiori, tall Italian, hair tied back, loads of space to work with, brings it up to the halfway line, 1-2 with Eze, back to Calafiori, the pass is beyond Gabriel, no danger though. David Raya's behind him, and he comes and collects for Arsenal, and he quickly ships the ball out to the right-hand side. As we walked in, Paul, at a lower level, you felt the grass looked quite long on this pitch tonight.
It did, didn't it? As we came in, we were almost at pitch level, and you could see. I mean, it's a pitch that's been heavily watered beforehand. As we know, groundsmen and women like to keep their pitch longer at this stage of the season to prevent any scars and any long-lasting damage. I don't think it will have any effect because it'll be so wet.
Iñaki Williams lays the ball off. That's a miscue from Vesga. Move was building nicely for Athletic Bilbao. That's what I mean. You hear those sort of oohs and ahs of disappointment, and then it's applause, and they're back in the team. Clearly they're back in the team because they're in good form.
I was amazed. It was exactly the same when they lost 3-0 here to Manchester United. They had a man sent off, and actually they all stayed almost to the end to applaud the team for the effort that they'd given, whereas you don't always get that in football stadiums. Yeah,
you don't have to be from the Basque Country to manage the team, though. Howard Kendall famously managed Athletic Bilbao back in the 80s. He just won the title with Everton 1987, then came and managed here. They finished 4th in his first season in charge. Didn't last too much longer after that. Marcelo Bielsa's been in charge here, took them to a Europa League final in 2012. Eze plays a nice 1-2 with Zubamendi, gets it back to the Spaniard. Space on the right-hand side for Madueke for the first time this evening. Ball bounces in front of him. Suddenly 2 red and white shirted defenders are there. He's going to take on Navarro into the penalty area. 2 of them wrestling and jostling there. It's cleared away only as far as Rice. Timber takes a touch. Iñaki Williams is back. Timber's nicked it off him. This could be good for Arsenal. Madueke back to Eze, and the shot, just as he was about to hit it, Gorosabal slid in, cleared the ball. Eze's accidentally kicked him, and that will be a free kick to Athletic Bilbao. For a second there, Eze must have been thinking, I'm going to score.
He's got an empty net. He's just put his head in his hands. He surely thinks he's going to score. Gorosabal comes from absolutely nowhere, the right back. That's much better from Arsenal. Really good from Zubamendi. He spreads it wide to Madueke. The first time that Arsenal have really got any kind of width. Madueke wins the ball, takes on his attacking fullback. In behind him is Timber. They win possession. Madueke gets into the 18-yard box and he lays it square to Eze, and he's coming to his right foot. Goalkeeper's committed himself. Eze looks like he's going to tap it into an empty net, but the right back, Gorosabal, pinches it off him at the last second.
Still getting used to wearing glasses for football commentary, Paul. They do, when it's warm, they fog up.
I'm still getting used to seeing you in them.
So it's
Are you okay there? They are a bit steamy.
It needs a bit of aircon, like in the car. I need to blast the windscreen here. Simon, long clearance from the free kick, and it clears the entire Arsenal backline. And Berenguer was the only one who kept running, and he's got this ball for Athletic Bilbao wide on the left. Mosquera chases him up towards the halfway line. The pass hits Mosquera, goes out for a throw-in, which Boiro will take. And then it's played back into the Athletic half, and the 2 centre-backs will both get a touch. Paredes plays across to Danny Vivian. Vivian was the player sent off in the semi-final first leg against Manchester United last season. Manchester United came here, won really well. Probably one of the best performances, actually, under Ruben Amorim. Won 3-0 in the first leg. Haureguita playing the ball through to Navarro. Gabriel is there, gets his body in the way. Important challenge for Arsenal. Then his clearance is blocked by Navarro and goes behind for the goal kick. But there's definitely a threat from the home team.
Yeah, super defending from Gabriel, though. His positional awareness is excellent, and even when he does get caught out of position, he's got the pace and awareness to get back goal side. Got him behind there. It was a ball slipped down the side of him. Very, very clever. Opens his body up, gets his body between the goal and the attacker. Berenguer shields the ball, knows exactly where his opposing player is, turns around, plays it off him and gets a goal kick. Really good experience defending. That's one thing that Arsenal have been excellent at, isn't it, over the recent months? Defending hasn't been their issue.
Yeah. Marino has lost it just inside the Athletic half. Paredes onto the ball in the red and white stripes. Forward it comes here to Santhet inside his own half. Back to Vivian. Vivian gives it a good clump of a pass back to his goalkeeper, Simon. Simon looks left and looks right. 2 Arsenal players close enough there to put him under threat, so he plays a long one down the middle. Iñaki Williams runs here with Mosquera. Calafiori, not the friendliest pass back to Raya. who just cushions a volley away. Calafiori then thumps it downfield with his left foot. Rice is just knocked off balance there as he went for the header. It's got scrappy again here. Now Marino's going to try and do something. Little ball over the top. I think the flag's going to stay down there for Gyökeres, and here he comes. Arsenal centre forward into the penalty area. Angles tight, straight at Simon. He got his angles right. He makes the save, and the flag does stay down, and I think Boiro might have been playing him on.
It was Boiro who was looking over at the assistant on the far side. The left back put his hand in the air, wanting the offside. Zubamendi just flicks a simple ball over the top. On Marino actually is. It's a simple ball over the top for Gyökeres, but he's got half the length of the pitch to run. He's not that type of striker who enjoys that.
Zubamendi with a heavy challenge, a clumsy challenge in midfield. Haudeguitha goes down. Free kick given to Athletic Bilbao. 0-0 against Arsenal. I'm going to say it again, Paul. Union Saint-Gilloise.
They're still winning.
1-0 up away to PSV Eindhoven. Conor McNamara and Chris Sutton with your commentary of Tottenham against Villarreal this evening. Advantage played here. Santhet bringing it forward dangerously for Athletic Bilbao. He's turned Gabriel. Gabriel's held him up for now. Santhet holds on to it, just shy of the Arsenal penalty area. Back to Gorosabel. Short pass infield from him. That is good work from Marino. Just hassles Haudeguitha out of possession. Holds him off. Looks for Gyökeres. Strength from Gyökeres. Does well to turn Vivian. And now Madueke's going to be interested in the middle here if Gyökeres can get the ball in, or will he go it alone into the penalty area? Lays it back to Eza. Eza across here to Zubamendi. Zubamendi turns, jeers and whistles to try and distract Arsenal as the attack builds. Timbers involved on the right. Declan Rice back into the team this evening. Still no Ødegaard, no Saka, no Havertz, no Jesus, no Ben White yet for Arsenal. As Mosquera plays across to Madueke, who's made an excellent start to life as an Arsenal player, and some really good football he's played for England this season as well. Marino just inside that Athletic Bilbao half to Eza. Eza in his bright orange boots is allowed to turn, just dangles his right foot in front of the ball, off as a dummy. Back to Gabriel. Wide it comes to Calafiori on the left. Calafiori shuffles in field, still going, good dribbling. Gyökeres now lays it off to Zubamendi. Rice has it 30 yards out, plays to his right. Timbers cross, that looks like a good ball. Gyökeres heads just wide. Diving header, bravely threw himself at it, and I think would have really fancied his chances of burying it. Quick clearance from the goal kick. David Raya's in a good position for Arsenal, because Iñaki Williams was racing onto that, and Raya, well out of his box, heads it away. Paul Robinson.
Much better from Arsenal. They look so much better when they're trying to impose themselves, rather than sitting deep and trying to nick possession back. When they're in possession and they're asserting themselves onto the game, playing on the front foot, that's when they look a lot better. An earlier chance down the right hand side from Madueke. That time it was a wonderful ball into the box from Timber, and that's what they've been missing. A player like Gyökeres throwing himself, old style diving header, goes really close. Yeah, I was thinking Keith Houchin, 1987 Cup final. That's the one, isn't it? It's the classic. And it was like that. He really launched himself. That's what they've missed, Arsenal. We've talked so long about Arsenal missing that number 9, but in Gyökeres that looks like what they've got. I mean, he's got 3 and 4 already this season, but that type of ball into the box, they haven't, one, been putting that type of ball into the box, or 2, had a player that would throw himself like that at it.
Yeah, 6 goals and 6 Champions League starts for Gyökeres last season as well for Sporting, including a hat-trick against Manchester City. Madueke take it on Boiro, gets the cross in, wins Arsenal a corner, first corner of the game for Arsenal, and we know the threat they pose from these. And this game has toed and fro, because first 10 minutes or so Arsenal had a lot of the ball, they looked in control, then Athletic Bilbao took over for a bit. It's a good old arm wrestle. David Raya needs a drink, obviously racing out of his box to win the header, his thirsty work, so he's come to the edge of the pitch to collect that. Madueke's taking his time here, ball tucked under his left arm.
I think there's more to that for Ray. I think he's carrying some instructions. I think that's why Madueke is delaying taking the corner.
Okay. And here it comes then, shortly from the right-hand side. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. No, short one to Zubamendi, back to Madueke, controls it, then crosses with his left boot. Header off target, well off target from Mosquera. Might bounce to Eza. Eza does well, stretches out a right leg, controls the ball, takes it on the dribble down the right. Challenge comes in from Iñaki Williams, and he knocks it out of play for a throw into Arsenal. Down by the corner flag on the right-hand side. Timber has the ball above his head, thinks about going quickly, but Madueke's got his back turned, so there's not an option to do that. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Zubamendi has to stretch, couldn't find Calafiori with the pass. Navarro's going to operate from deep here for for Athletic. Plays across to Gorosabal. Eza closes him down. Little pass forward to Navarro. Did a right little shimmy in front of the ball there, but it worked because he lost the attention of Marino. Vesga, short pass to his left to Boiro, and everything calms down, and Athletic Bilbao go at walking pace. So this is Arsenal's first game in the Champions League. Next up is Olympiacos at home, and then Atletico Madrid at home. Next couple coming Arsenal's way in this competition. As Paul said before the game, did really well in the league phase last season. 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. The only defeat away to Inter. Madueke wants a free kick. Thought he was hauled to the floor by Boiro. He's struggling to deal with Madueke. Madueke gets the decision.
And that's when Arsenal have looked better. Like I say, they look better when there are certain their strengths, and their strengths are in the wide areas. When Eze and Madueke are in a higher position rather than defending, Arsenal get the ball, push the 2 players wide. Madueke's certainly a threat. I mean, I saw him for England in midweek. He was absolutely excellent. I think he was obviously the player of the game for me. I just think the impact that he's had. I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans that weren't overly convinced when they signed him. Well, I think that's a bit of an understatement in all honesty, but I think the freedom that he's got and the way that he's playing and the way that Mikel Arteta's managing him, I think definitely in an England shirt, and you're seeing glimpses of it already in an Arsenal shirt.
Declan Rice trying to make himself heard inside this cavernous stadium, shouting as he's about to take this free kick, which Madueke won, out on the right. Rice holds his left arm in the air, curls that in with his right foot. Powerful header from Gabriel. He's off target, well off target. And I think he might have headed his own player as well, because 2 Arsenal players are down, and Gabriel is going to need some attention. Gyökeres is the other.
Yeah, there's a really well-worked set play, as you would expect from Arsenal. Interesting that Athletic Club just held their line on the edge of the box, didn't pick up man for man. All the Arsenal players started in a group at the edge of the box, right at the back of the defensive line, and then they made a run individually, tried to break through the line. They ended up with a free header, Gyökeres. Just watching the replay there, Gyökeres and Gabriel.
Yeah,
Gyökeres has definitely come off the worst of the two, hasn't he?
Gabriel has headed Gyökeres. He's headed the ball and Gyökeres. So the back of Gyökeres' head has taken the full brunt of that. So slight stoppage in play. 15 minutes left in the first half. You're listening to the Champions League on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tottenham against Villarreal is our commentary at 8 o'clock this evening. And Paul, you've spotted on the TV pictures here blood streaming from Gyökeres' head. Yeah,
we're going to have a long break in play here. He's bent over on all fours, right over the penalty spot. He's got the physio on. It won't be long before the doctor comes on. We've just seen a close-up on the screen. He's got blood trickling down the side of his face.
Well, Gyökeres not afraid to throw himself about, put himself in dangerous situations, has come closest in this first half with the diving header that was just off target, and at the moment receiving medical attention, so Mikel Arteta has a good chance here to get the tactical instructions onto the team. So yes, Tottenham Villarreal tonight. Tomorrow night, Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin in Munich for Bayern Munich against Chelsea. We'll have updates on Liverpool against Atletico, and on Thursday night, choice of listening Champions League commentaries, Newcastle Barcelona on 5 Live. John Murray will be at St James's Park. Manchester City against Napoli on Sports Extra, and then Sunday, I'm just going to flag this one up as well, Paul, because Arsenal in a sense have a bit of an advantage this week. They play tonight, Manchester City play Thursday. It's Arsenal Manchester City on Sunday at 4:30. We've got full commentary on that one. It's
a huge advantage, isn't it? I mean, Tuesday to Thursday, a big difference, recovery, and obviously with the game being an early kick-off here this evening, the Arsenal players will jump on the plane as soon as they're finished, and more than likely we'll be back in London and back home before 1 o'clock. So maybe a morning off tomorrow morning to recover, and then a long time to prep, more than Manchester City get ahead of the game on Sunday.
Gyökeres still receiving treatment. He's in a sort of praying position. He's on his knees, his back is straight, his head is bent forward, and they've got some tight black bandage wrapped tightly around his head, and that is a sharp haircut, that, isn't it, Gyökeres?
It's not going to be looking sharp after this, though, is
no,
it? It's what is it? What can we give our listeners an image? A Terry Butcher.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a Terry Butcher.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
But it's black tape, black heavy tape, isn't it?
And not oceans and oceans of blood. The famous picture of Terry after a game against Sweden. By the way, talking Terry Butcher, the other thing, because I love looking into the history of football clubs and stadiums. This is the new San Mamés Stadium, which was opened in 2013. The old one lasted for 100 years. If people like me, and I was a young kid at the time, I think I was 9 years old, 1982, I came back from school, England against France, opening group game of the World Cup for England in those fantastic England kits that I loved then. Throw in from Steve Coppell, 27 seconds into the game. Terry Butcher flick on, and an athletic Brian Robson left-footed finish in the old San Mamés Stadium. England won the game by 3-1. Robson got 2 and Mariner got the other. That was one of my very first football memories, Paul.
What year was that? 82?
82.
It seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? Those old kits that are now coming back and they're very cool to wear.
Yeah. Well, England's women won the Euros this summer in something very similar, actually. Great kit, that. Here's Santhet on the turn. Spinning high ball to the right to Gorosabel. Gorosabel plays it back to Navarro. Handball, says the referee, who is Donatas Rumsas from Lithuania. What have you spotted, Paul?
He's back on. Gyökeres.
Oh, yeah.
He's back on. Referee's just given him permission to come back on. Heavily bandaged on this near side.
So free kick Arsenal. Gabriel will take it. 11 minutes of the first half remaining. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Steve Crossman back with us at half-time.
This is one thing that I've noticed, not just with Arsenal, but across the Premier League and leagues in Europe as well. They've got a free kick, Arsenal, 5 yards outside their 18-yard box. There's no questions now, it's going long. You know, they're going to put it in an area, they're going to be allowed to play in a certain area, but we're not going to put the ball at risk if we don't need to. It's going long, and they did that immediately from the kickoff as well. Do
you know what? If Gyökeres had put a better touch on that ball and maybe still a little bit groggy after a whack on the head, he suddenly then would have had it just outside the Athletic Bilbao area with players running off him, so it worked.
There's a lot to be said for doing things in one go rather than 6 or 7, isn't there?
Yeah,
maybe more passes sometimes. You cause yourself more problems at times playing in areas that you don't really need to. And like we say, we're seeing a big shift this year.
Well, and that was really interesting, actually. Mikel Arteta was asked about that in the press conference yesterday as well, about the set pieces, the long throws, the longer balls from the back. And he basically said, you have got to be, if you're going to win in the Premier League, Champions League, you have got to be the best in every single department of the game. No stone unturned. Look at everything forensically. And that is how you win. And even then, obviously, you might not because it's fine margins. But that is certainly what he does and what plenty of other football managers do as well. 10 minutes left in the first half. Still 0-0. Still a great noise inside the stadium. Calafiori fires a low pass back to Gabriel. Plays it across to Mosquera, the young Spaniard with the dark blue Arsenal shirt untucked, long sleeves. Here's Timber. Jurrien Timber across to Mosquera again. Mosquera forward to Rice. Rice under pressure from Santhet, who's chasing him across that Arsenal half. Wide to Timber. Back again to Mosquera. Mosquera takes a couple of touches, looking for an avenue to pass into. There it is on the right. Timber then looks for the run of Madueke, and Madueke has pulled Boydero back, and the two of them there was a bit of tugging, pulling or whatever, but eventually Madueke, not subtle enough, wasn't going to get to that ball. And it's a free kick for Athletic. It's
a game very much being played in the middle of the pitch, isn't it? I mean, we talked about a couple of opportunities for either side, but there's been no real clear-cut opportunities. Probably the best opportunity was Gyökeres' diving header that he threw himself at. But actually, when you talk about Simon and Rea, we haven't really talked about them much, which tells you where the game's been played the majority of the time.
Free kick then for Athletic Bilbao, which Unai Simon will take. And again, it's going to go long because Athletic Bilbao in the red and white vertical stripes have cleared their half. Simon goes diagonally from left to right across the pitch. Calafiori nods it down. Eza stretched, controlled it well, then tries to roll a pass down the left. Calafiori will chase that. He won't get there. Gorosabel is there first and plays back to his goalkeeper.
Doesn't look right, Gyökeres. I mean, he's taken that blow to his head. He's got his head heavily strapped. There's a through ball there that he wasn't quite switched on. It's a little bit groggy to me.
Interesting. Ball down the inside left channel for Athletic Bilbao. Iñaki Williams goes tearing after it. Raya's there first, scoops it over his head, plays to Madueke. Madueke back here to Mosquera. Raya under pressure this time. Low curling ball in between two Athletic Bilbao players that were very close to him. Rice looking to win the ball on the halfway line. He's on a yellow card. He's caught Gorosabel. It will be a free kick, and you can hear what the Athletic fans are trying to get across to the referee here.
I don't think there's any malice in that for Declan Rice, who just caught the player on his way through. But as you heard in the background, the home support, they know exactly he was on a yellow card.
Yeah.
It was slightly late though, Declan Rice, looking at that.
Got to be careful. Ball forward from the free kick, and also been caught sleeping there. Berenguer nearly got in, but the offside flag is up. Doesn't matter because it ran through to David Raya, and he's bowled it out underarm this time to Timber, and Arsenal can start to play inside their own half. It's quite a look, this stadium as well from the outside. Modern stadium, big dome, lots and lots of sort of triangular shaped panels which obviously light up in the evening. You can sort of show all sorts of things on those. But I thought as we approached it today, it looked like if you could actually stack a pack of cards in a stadium shape, it looks like loads of playing cards all stacked on top of it.
You've been trying to replicate it in your room this afternoon. Is that what you've been doing? You've not been doing your notes, really?
Absolutely no chance of that.
This is one of those stadiums that if you like going around the world, around Europe or the UK, whatever, visiting football stadiums, this is one that you don't necessarily think of. But it's, I've been here a couple of times before. This is an absolute must visit for the whole match day experience, the build-up, the city, the streets, the game, just to see all these supporters in red and white and the noise. It's a great place, it really is.
Yeah, Tottenham fans, Paul's old club, have fond memories, of course. This is where they beat Manchester United to win the Europa League final back in May. Arsenal playing out from inside their own half. Good pacey pass into the path of Madueke, up against Boiro, takes him on the outside, then checks for a second, little flick of the ball into Berenguer. Arsenal win a throw on the right. 6 minutes for the first half remaining, plus a little bit of added time. I think there's going to be a good 4 or 5 minutes of that, because the Gyökeres situation took a while to deal with.
Arsenal's biggest threat again, Madueke down the right hand side, been very, very narrow. Eze always tucks in, and actually the biggest threat has come when Timber's overlapped and Madueke's on the ball.
Arsenal have it on the right. That's Zubamendi, former Real Sociedad player, one of the big rivals here of Athletic Bilbao, as was Mikel Merino. There's Zubamendi. His little flick pass intercepted. Gorosabal, the right back, up the middle of the pitch to Navarro. Good feet, and Gabriel doesn't foul him. Navarro stays down. Arsenal press forward with Calafiori. Here's Eze. Calafiori continues the run just outside the area on the left. The cross is blocked. Gorosabal, little pass back. Then it comes out to the right-hand side. Good commitment from Eze. Slides in. Then he's challenged, heavily challenged by Vivian, who didn't like the challenge on him. Vivian slides in, knocks the ball away from Eze, and it goes out for a throw-in to Arsenal on the left. Union Saint-Gilloise have scored a second, Paul. PSV 0, USG 2.
Maybe we'll be seeing a lot more of them this season. But that was a great tackle by Eze, wasn't it? A real old-fashioned challenge. Certainly didn't expect him to leave the ground and put in a sliding challenge like that on Vivian. Danny Vivian certainly didn't like it. He's known for his robustness. He in turn returned the favour, didn't he, on Eze?
When you say Vivian, I mean, that's going to take me back to the 80s and the young ones as well. So there's all sorts of stuff ringing around my head here. Long throw into the penalty area, headed away by Athletic Bilbao. Calafiori steps in to win it back for Arsenal, waits for the ball to drop, gets away from Vesga, then the pass there is behind Zubamendi, and it was all a bit sort of scruffy after the set piece. Everyone was getting reorganised. Arsenal didn't really know what to do with that, and it's gone out for a throw-in to Athletic Bilbao.
It's been a scruffy type of game. I mean, we're just passing the 41-minute mark now. No real team you could say is on top. As I said, it's played a lot in the middle of the park. But for Arsenal, it's job done. I mean, a draw here is not a disaster. A clean sheet will be important to them. As we know, defensively they're very good, but actually for them to be at this stage of the game, job done thus far.
Here's Madueke, edge of the penalty area. Can it get better for Arsenal? Low shot, block, ball spins out to Zubamendi, 30 yards out, sees Timber in space on his right. Timber's put the most dangerous cross of the game in this first half. He's inside the penalty area now, lays it out to the right to Madueke. Athletic Bilbao defenders all in a line, 10 yards from their goal. Madueke twisting and turning, cross comes in, hits the back of one of those defenders. Out of Geether, bouncing ball, clears it away with his right foot. Timber heads it in the air. Zubamendi wins the next header. Timber gets a touch on that, chases it down to the byline, keeps it in and gets the cross in. Has hurt himself doing that. He's down behind the dead ball line. Paredes just checks he's okay. Play's going to continue, and Arsenal are down to 10 men really at the moment. Mosquera's come across to the right back position, and Athletic Bilbao have spotted the weakness here. They're attacking down that left hand side. Iñaki Williams sees the run of Berenguer into the penalty area, across the face of goal, and behind for the goal kick. David Raya dives. He had that covered. There was one player, Athletic Bilbao player, was it Santhet, racing through the middle, who was a couple of metres away from getting a right boot on that would have put it in the back of the net.
Well, from Arsenal's point of view, Jurriën Timber, he got himself injured by the corner flag and he stayed off the pitch, and immediately Athletic Club could see that weakness, and like you said, Mosquera went over to the right back position. Berenguer in the end cuts inside and he shot. It's a cross come shot, wasn't it? Really, Sunset couldn't get on the end of it. David Raya dived across but didn't save.
That is definitely one, by the way, I've just thought, for the glossary, for the commentators' view, the great glossary of football commentary, the cross come shot. Surely that is only football. That has
you must
to be.
have had that by
now.
I
don't think we have. Here's Madueke dribbling again for Arsenal, taking on defenders into the Athletic penalty area, and then he's lost it and he's fouled his man. and that is going to be a free kick for the home team. We're into the 44th minute of an intriguing Champions League game. Arsenal knew it was going to be tough, and it has been so far. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0, PSV 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 2.
Yeah, they're not going to have it all their own way tonight, Arsenal. We knew that before the start of the game. Defensively very robust, this Bilbao side. But what Arsenal have done, they haven't really come under any threat in the goal. One or two occasions they've had half chances, the home side, but nothing that's really threatened David Raya's goal or forced him into any kind of action to make him, to make a save. They've kept everything fairly much in front of them. The times they haven't had possession, Arsenal, they've been comfortable in a defensive shape.
You can see a couple of Athletic fans just making their way back to their seats. They've beaten the crowds, and she has got an enormous tub of popcorn. She's going to have to share some of that with the people sitting around her. Never going to be able to finish that. She sits down a few rows in front of us, and the ball goes behind. No, it's a throw-in. The referee's saying that's a throw-in for Athletic Bilbao in an attacking position wide on the left. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Stay in touch with the Champions League goings on this evening. Champions League final score available via the iPlayer website and app alongside our commentary. Just another way you can stay across everything while you're listening to us. Long throw into the Arsenal area. Mosquera heads it down and away. Edge of the box. Rice stretches and sliding challenge on him. Turns into a shot on goal really from Danny Vivian, and it goes well wide of the target. And behind for an Arsenal goal kick.
They look to be comfortable defensively, Arsenal. They look to have it sussed out early on in the game. Athletic Club were getting down the side of them at times, and you could see them just, the two centre-halves, Gabriel and Mosquera, just trying to work it out. But as the game's gone on, the threat from Athletic Club has become less and less, and the threat's become less in wider areas. It's not coming down the middle in the width of the 18-yard box. The threat and the danger that they've had has been wide of the 18-yard box and has materialised in nothing. 3
minutes of added time. We look down from our steepling commentary position here in the San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Raya's goal kick headed forward by Santhet. Gabriel powers a header down the left over the head of Ezer. Challenge from Marino. That's a foul on Santhet. Free kick for Athletic Bilbao. Did I just say 3 minutes of added time?
You did.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And we've played 90 seconds of that. So Danny Vivian, who was the player sent off for Athletic Bilbao in that semi-final against Manchester United, the 3-0 defeat. They then lost 4-1 at Old Trafford. Manchester United got themselves through to that final but couldn't get the job done in this stadium against Tottenham. Vivian takes the free kick forward. Slight miscue from Gabriel on the clearance. Still defending for Arsenal to do. Here's Navarro. He's got little blonde highlights at the front of his fringe. Through the legs cleverly of Rice there. Iñaki Williams. Low ball across the face of goal. It's okay for Arsenal. Runs through their penalty area. And Madueke collects it in the right back position. Play to Marino. Velvet touch on the edge of the box. Had to be good there. Forward to Gyökeres. Physical battle with Paredes. Paredes drags him to the ground. Free kick Arsenal. Timber takes it quickly. Madueke is away here and the referee has said keep playing. Madueke paused for a second there. He's now on the attack, arrowing into the box, looks for the cutback. Last touch came off the Arsenal player. Cross hit the defender, then hit Madueke. Goes behind for the goal kick. Paredes is complaining that Arsenal shouldn't have been able to go with the quick free kick, and Unai Simon races out and says, look, don't get involved, it's fine, it's our goal kick.
Well, they're quite happy now because it's come to nothing. It's a goal kick, but they're absolutely raving. Vivian and Paredes immediately straight out to surround the referee. I don't know what the problem is though. The free kick was given, nobody was within 10 yards of the ball, there was nobody stopping the quick free kick. Timber saw that the free kick was on, he put Madueke in. Madueke actually half stopped like you said, didn't he, but then he realised he was through. There was no reason the referee should have stopped that. It was good quick thinking by Arsenal.
Red and white stripes bouncing in rhythm in that two-tiered stand behind the goal away to our left. Defended by the home team in the first half. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. League phase of the Champions League this season underway. Gabriel jumps, the ball comes off his forehead, goes behind him, but through to his goalkeeper, David Raya. Half-time at PSV, 2-0 down at home against Union Saint-Gilloise, the Belgians. Declan Rice on the ball for Arsenal. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Gyökeres' diving header, the closest Arsenal have come. Gabriel tries to thread one through to Calafiori. Intercepted. Here's Navarro. Brings it forward for Athletic Bilbao. Lines up the shot, deflected, and behind it goes for a late corner in the first half to the home team.
So Arsenal have got to guard against his complacency. In very, very comfortable possession. Gabriel that time looks to thread a ball into midfield, but he gives it away. Gives the ball away really cheaply. Shot deflected and away for a corner. But Arsenal just, it's concentration. Keep clean sheets. Don't cause yourself your own problems, which is what they did.
Got to concentrate now, Arsenal. Last seconds of the first half. This is where the fans can make a real difference. Get those noise levels up. Make it hard for the Arsenal players to think. Thunderclap begins around the stadium. 0-0. Pace builds in the clapping. Berenguer delivers the corner, near post header well wide of the target. And behind for the Arsenal goal kick. And as soon as the ball is back in play, I think that is going to be the half-time whistle. In fact, before David Raya takes that goal kick, the referee does indeed say that is it for this evening so far. Half-time in the San Mamés Stadium. Paul Robinson, Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0.
Yeah, without having a huge attacking threat, Arsenal have looked comfortable in the first half. I think Bilbao had the better of the earlier exchanges, created maybe one or two opportunities, but didn't really trouble David Raya's goal. Defensively, Arsenal have shored up, they've kept possession. Athletic Club have looked the inferior opponent at times. Arsenal have looked stronger, they've looked dominant, and when they do look their best is when they play forward and they play on the front foot. Madueke again for me is the biggest threat. Eze needs to stay wider. In Gyökeres they've got a willing runner but not giving him enough service. I think there's more to come from Arsenal. He won't be disappointed with Mikel Arteta. Closest
Arsenal have come, the Gyökeres diving header from the Timber cross. I'm going to go for intriguing tussle to sum it up so far. Half-time Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0.
I've got to say, Paul, I am amazed that Gyökeres was able to continue after that knock, because it looked awful, didn't it?
It didn't look great, and we're obviously sat right at the back of the stand here, at the very, very back, the top tier looking down, so the incident is in itself looked bad enough. We've got a couple of replays on the small monitor, but obviously you've seen it closer up on the TV. You could just see the blood streaming down the side of his head. He went off the side of the pitch after a lot of treatment on the pitch, heavily bandaged, stood on the near touchline. He walked around halfway around the pitch, stood on the near touchline in front of the dugout, and then was allowed to come back onto the pitch. And in all honesty, he didn't look himself. I mean, he looked bright, he looked sharp to start with, but since that knock on the head, there was a couple of times where I thought, is he going to run through? And he kind of held his run. It looked like a heavy one.
On Eze as well, it just got me thinking when I was listening to you there wrapping up at half-time. In Martinelli, Arsenal have a player who wants to stay wide. Eze doesn't want to do that, does he? He wants to come back inside. So do you think Arsenal can find a way to make that work in the second half, or because it's a more natural fit in an Arteta system, does Eze need to change?
No, I think he likes that because of the defensive way that Eze plays as well. He tucks in and it allows him to tuck in and drop in a defensive shape. But all their threat has come from Madueke down the right-hand side, and naturally when that happens, the whole team shift, and Eze at the edge of that team, he's naturally going to shift and tuck in. But actually in possession, they'll be better off doing like what England did in midweek against Serbia, split and making the pitch really wide, get the wide players literally as wide as they possibly can, and that's where the threat's been for Arsenal. But for me, Eze is one, not done enough, and two, he just tracks inside all the time. He needs to find himself more space and get involved in the game.
All right, you two, thank you very much for the time being. So, Athletic Club 0, Arsenal 0. I knew I was going to say that as soon as I started saying, should we say Athletic Bilbao? Anyway, it's goalless inside San Mamés. We've got 2 Champions League commentaries for you tonight on 5 Live. So coming up shortly, we'll make our first trip of the night to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs Villarreal in full on 5 Live and BBC Sounds at 8 o'clock this evening. We'll also get you round the 3 League Cup ties tonight as well. We're at Brentford, Crystal Palace and Sheffield Wednesday, and we've got more coming as well from the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. So we'll do all of that before second half commentary after the news on 5 Live with Bethan Holmes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thousands of people are attempting to flee Gaza City as the IDF launches a major ground offensive there. Israel claims it's a Hamas stronghold. That coincides with a finding by a UN Commissioner of Inquiry that Israel has committed genocide in Gaza. The report found 4 out of the 5 genocidal acts have been carried out, which Israel rejects. Our diplomatic correspondent is Caroline Hawley.
The UN Secretary-General has just said that it's not for him to determine legally if it's genocide, but he said the situation is horrendous, and he said he couldn't remember such massive killing of civilians during the time he's done his job. So I think this report will certainly add to the mounting condemnation of what Israel is doing in capitals right around the world, including many of Israel's Western allies.
Elsewhere this evening, some of Hollywood's biggest names are paying tribute to Robert Redford, who's died at the age of 89. His co-star in Barefoot in the Park, Jane Fonda, says he was a beautiful person in every way. Here's our entertainment correspondent, Colin Patterson.
When you look back at his career, it is that spell in the 1970s when he was the biggest movie star on the planet. He became the first person since Bing Crosby to have 3 films of his own in the top 10 at the end of the year in 1974. What a movie star he was.
Donald Trump is on his way to the UK. He's the first US president to be invited for a second state visit. The US president will spend tomorrow at Windsor Castle with the King and Queen, and on Thursday he'll travel to the Prime Minister's country residence, Chequers. And as part of his visit, Mr Trump will be speaking about trade. But we now understand an expected deal to scrap tariffs on UK steel exports to the US has been put on hold indefinitely. British steel faces a 25% duty, which is half the rate put on other countries. Senior government sources say the UK steel industry still has a competitive edge. Well, let's have a look at the travel. Here's Orna.
Thanks, Bethan. So if we look at Cumbria first with the M6, and if you're heading north, T-Bay at junction 38, that's where the motorway was closed this morning. 2 lanes are still closed at the scene there. It's looking slow on the approach as well. The A56 in Lancashire heading north and approaching the M66 junction 1. So that's the Ramsbottom junction. It's where it joins the A56 and it becomes that new route there heading north and heading towards the Burnley turn-off at Rottenstall. You've got it all blocked off to deal with an accident there. M5 Bristol queues, long delays, northbound junction 15 joining the M4. That's at Almondsbury with the queues backing up to Cribbs Causeway, junction 17. 1 lane still closed at the scene of the accident. M25 looking slow along the bottom at 7 near the M23 at the interchange. 1 lane closed for the repairs, queuing that to 8 at Reigate. And the M27 westbound, junction 12 at Portsmouth. The scene of the accident still looking busy there. Queues backing up onto the A27, the Havant bypass. And on the trains, no service operating between Rugby and Coventry on either Avanti West Coast or London North Western. Orna Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
From the start of your day
To the moment you head home. Join 5 Live for the latest news, the stories everyone's sharing, and the biggest debates.
This is a really important moment.
The days of sweeping this under the rug are over.
Let's just get up and chip away and make a difference.
Whatever the day throws at you, we'll help make sense of it.
From the headlines
To the details that matter.
wake up with 5 Live breakfast from 6 and go home with 5 Live drive from 4.
Weekdays on BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sports, the Champions League with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
It is the first Champions League night of the season proper on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0 at half-time. Whilst you're listening, you can follow on with the conversation on the BBC Sport website as well. You can get involved there. You can get involved with us. 85058 at 5 Live Sport is how you do it. Right now on the live text page, I've just seen that the review of the first half is 0-0. I'll be honest, not a great watch, which I think sums it up quite well. So if you head over to the BBC Sport website, you can follow with that. Full commentary to come as well on Spurs versus Villarreal at 8. So we'll be inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium shortly. 3 games in the third round of the League Cup tonight. Aston Villa still looking for their first goal of the season, who are at Brentford, who've scored in all 5 of their games so far. Chris Wise.
And strangely, despite that, Villa have actually had more shots than Brentford in the Premier League this season. Second meeting in less than a month for these two as well. Brentford's 1-0 win here was Keith Andrews' first victory since taking charge. But clearly, the inquisitive eyes are going to be on Unai Emery's team. A sense that he might need to go strong in his team selection tonight, given their troubles in front of goal. Interestingly, Emery's actually only won 1 League Cup game since his appointment just under 3 years ago at Villa. We're going to get the team news very shortly, and we'll find out if we're going to see Jadon Sancho for the first time in a Villa shirt.
That one's an 8 o'clock kickoff, and so is this one. Crystal Palace, of course, the FA Cup and Community Shield winners. They face Millwall, who last went beyond the third round of the League Cup in 1995. Aaron Paul's at Selhurst.
Yeah, and this one, Steve, needs no real introduction, does it? With the last competitive meeting between Palace and Millwall reigniting the vitriol in South London. Things have mellowed since. Both have their own individual focuses, but tonight's tie, first between the two in the EFL Cup, will no doubt be contested in a white-hot heat atmosphere. The team news is yet to be released. We understand Walter Benitez will start in goal for Palace, with Sarr, Wharton and Nketiah all expected to miss out. Millwall scraped a draw down the road at Charlton on Saturday. Alex Neil will demand a better showing from his side, who were poor. We go at 8 o'clock under the lights at Selhurst.
There's a 7:45 game as well. League 2 Grimsby Town, you will remember, stunned Manchester United in the last round. So what can they do against Championship strugglers Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough? Julia Bold.
Sheffield Wednesday might be in crisis, but their own win over Leeds on penalties to reach this third round match did put some much needed positivity into the club. However, it is fair to say it's chaos behind the scenes here, with some wages unpaid, second from bottom in the Championship, and a transfer embargo. So again, the fans will protest against the ownership tonight, with the majority of them boycotting the game. It means we'll have just 2,000 home supporters here, compared to around 5,000 Grimsby fans. We do have the team news here now. 9 changes to the side that lost here at Hillsborough against Bristol City on Saturday. But after beating Manchester United, the visitors are brimming with confidence. It is 2 changes for them tonight. Rhys Staunton and Justin Amalzor both come into the midfield.
Thank you very much, Julia. So we'll be back in Bilbao shortly. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0, half-time in the Champions League. Then our second commentary of the evening is Spurs versus Villarreal. Chris Sutton's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Evening, Chris.
Hello, Steve.
Let's hope Conor McNamara's train hurries up. Otherwise, you'll be commentating as well.
Well, that won't be a good listen.
I think it'd be great.
So let's pray for Conor. Yeah, just get it, Conor. However you do it, trains, planes, automobiles, just get to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, please.
There's a lot going on. Not only is it Spurs' first Champions League match in 2.5 years, it's the first full stop for Thomas Frank. It's the first since the end of the Daniel Levy era. There's a lot going on, basically.
Yeah, and just in his programme notes, Thomas Frank has talked about great pride in being a coach in the Champions League. First time, you're quite right, and just the importance of Tottenham getting off to a flying start. You get that first win on the board, that gives them a real opportunity to build on that. It's been pretty sort of seamless, really, the takeover from Thomas Frank. He's felt, as far as I can see, very comfortable moving across London from Brentford to Tottenham. They've had a good start in the Premier League. 3 wins out of 4, and he's a manager, horses for courses, isn't he? He's adaptable. He will change up, as we saw in the Super Cup final against PSG, where they nearly got over the line. They actually played very well in that. So it'll be interesting to see how he sets up. But they're up against a difficult opponent in Villarreal, who didn't have European football last season, but we know their sort of pedigree in Europe over the years. They can take a scalp or two.
So what have you been impressed then with how they've looked? Because like you said, they have got off to a good start and results have been all right so far, certainly good. So stylistically, are they more fun?
I don't know whether they're more fun. I think that it was quite a ride under Ange Postecoglou, wasn't it? And last season, the Premier League form wasn't good, but they ended up winning the Europa League. And Ange Postecoglou at the end of the season put all those eggs in the Europa League basket, ended up winning a trophy. Tottenham don't win trophies. There just seems to be an air of calmness, more calmness around the club. It's early days as of yet, but when you look at the result at the weekend against West Ham, I think it was their first win in 6 years, something like that. It was extremely comfortable. And I've just seen Conor McNamara arriving.
Oh, we don't need him, Chris. We're having a good time, aren't we?
Cheered me up, yeah.
What do you mean cheered you up?
Yeah, well, that's cheered me up. You wouldn't want to listen to me all evening, Steve, on my own. But just going back to Tottenham, it's been a really good start for Thomas Frank, and it would be even better if they could get a win tonight. I actually think the fixtures they've got in the Champions League are pretty okay.
This is the one, isn't it, which on paper feels like a big night, if you like.
Well, it is, because it's about getting a foothold, isn't it? Getting 3 points on the board. I don't know how many it'll be to qualify, 10, 11, whatever it is, but that gives them a great chance. I think they've got home games against Copenhagen, Slavia Prague to come, games which you would expect Tottenham to have too much quality for those two teams. So, an enormous game tonight for Thomas Frank, and first time in the Champions League.
Also, might get a first sight of Randall Kolo Muani, who's quite an exciting signing, isn't he?
I think he is, and he has plenty of Champions League experience with his previous clubs, Frankfurt and PSG and Juventus. I think 23 appearances in the Champions League. Tottenham have strength in depth, don't they, in those forward areas? I know Solanke isn't fit, or doesn't look like he's fit this evening. But no, they have real strength in depth. You look at the bench at the weekend, some of the players on the bench, Johnson, Odegaard, on their Kolo Muani, on there as well. So you think Richarlison, I don't know whether he'll start this evening. I think the teams are out. But John, can I have a look at the teams? John, I'll just do Connor's job here.
Go on. I mean, you're doing very well so far.
Yeah, I'm just doing Connor's job. So, yeah, well, Richarlison starts tonight. So, Kudus. I can't see Kolo Muani, though, so he must be on the bench then. John's just scrolling. Yeah, he's on the bench, so a little bit disappointing. We built him up there, and he's on the bench. But I'm sure he'll get some minutes.
I think you're right, Chris. We need Connor back, don't we?
Yeah, here he is. Here he is.
Hello,
just
Steve.
Hello.
Thank
How
God.
are you?
Good.
Thank
Listen, well done, because it sounds like you've had a nightmare, so well played.
No, all good, all good.
Excellent. Right, fine. Well, we've run out of time now, Connor, but it's lovely to hear your voice. And
No problem.
Chris
Do you
has done a
have the
great
teams?
job. Yeah. Go on. If you've got a couple headlines.
2 changes for Spurs because Bentancur comes into the midfield and Richarlison comes into the attack, and they replace Joe Palhinha and Matthias Tell.
What professionals. Thank you very much, you two. We're ready to go in Bilbao. Ali.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome back to the San Mamés Stadium. Listening to the dulcet tones of Chris Sutton just reminds me I was recording the FPL podcast from BBC Sport earlier on today with him. If you're a fantasy football fan, get your ears around that. It comes out every Wednesday. Chris and his team actually going really well this season. No Mo Salah in it, but he has got Erling Haaland, who's been banging in the goals for him. And we are waiting for the second half to get underway here in northern Spain. Half-time, Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. There goes the whistle. Athletic Bilbao will play from right to left in this second half. Their goalkeeper Unai Simon is all in orange. The outfield players in the famous red and white stripes, red panels on the backs with white numbers, black shorts and black socks. That's a shove in the back on Gyökeres. And Gyökeres is out there for Arsenal, Paul. We wondered, didn't we, particularly after that knock he took to the back of the head late in the first half, and then he looked groggy after that, whether he might not return, but he is starting the second half for Arsenal.
We did wonder, and I think it'd be obviously very difficult to take him off from a manager's point of view as well. That number 9 that they've talked about, he's come in, he's had such a good start.
Here's Madueke on the right, crosses too close to Unai Simon. He was looking for Gyökeres at the far post. Gyökeres was lurking there, but he couldn't find him with the cross. Santhet nearly turns into trouble inside his own half. Good presence of mind and strength on the ball to hold on to it. Robert Navarro plays out to the right-hand side to the right-back Andoni Gorosabel. The Athletic fans start up with a good old sing-song at the start of the second half. Probably worth reminding you as well about this league phase in the Champions League. Second season of it, 36 teams. You play 8 fixtures which take you up to the end of January. The top 8 go straight through to the last 16. If you finish between 9th and 24th, you then go into a playoff game to try and get into that last 16. And anything below 24th, 25th to 36th, that is your European season over.
I don't know what was more entertaining, us scrambling around at the start of the season trying to understand it, or sitting next to you, John and Ian, when the tables were going up and down towards the end of the league stages.
Yeah, that is good fun to watch that happen. Great to be involved in. Here's Calafiori on the left for Arsenal. Eza, nice bit of skill, fouled on the corner of the Athletic Bilbao penalty area. Just too quick there. He went through the gap. Howard Geitha stuck a leg out, and Eze has won an important free kick for Arsenal.
And better already. Spoke about it at half-time to Steve. Eze staying wider. That time he gets the ball, he gets possession, he tries to get around the outside, take his full-back on, and as you say, wins a free kick in a really good position.
It's actually Robert Navarro who caught him. Arsenal have got Raya in goal, Timber, Mosquera, Gabriel and Calafiori. Saliba is on the bench, so close to fitness, ready to be involved again. Rice on the yellow card, got that early in the game. Zubamendi, Marino is the midfield 3, and Zubamendi and Marino, born in the Basque Country, played their football here, know all about playing here. And look at all those Arsenal players in the blue shirts, 4 of them, cluster of them, lurking on the far right of the Athletic Bilbao area. The Athletic Bilbao defenders still steadfastly staying in the line. Then the Arsenal players kind of move in the gaps in between them. Ball comes in, far post, headed down wide. Good chance. Gyökeres at the back post, got power on the header, didn't get the direction.
Oh, it's a great chance for Arsenal. Best chance of the game. It's close to Gyökeres at the far post. Simple set play once again. Declan Rice with a delivery. All 4 Arsenal players attacking the ball, starting a cluster at the back of the defensive line of the Athletic Bilbao players. They all break and try and breach that line. Gyökeres is the one that holds his run. He goes round the back, ends up with a free header almost inexplicitly puts it wide.
Yeah, I mean,
Mikel Arteta's got his head in his hands.
Got to be testing the goalkeeper there, hasn't he, Paul? At the least, yeah, absolutely.
But listen, he's a quality player, but he's a very, very good player in and around the box with his head as well. That was a free header from 6 yards out. Granted, it was on the angle, didn't even hit the target.
So a good chance for Arsenal at the start of this second half. So it's Madueke and Eze either side of Gyökeres just to complete that Arsenal lineup. I'll give you the Athletic Bilbao team in a second. That's a complete miscue by Vivian. And then Paredes has panicked and bundled into Gyökeres. Doesn't get the free kick, actually. The ball's still high in the air. Then there is a foul committed on Iñaki Williams by Julian Timber. And so that will be a free kick for Athletic Bilbao. Unai Simon is their goalkeeper. Andoni Gorosabal, Danny Vivian, Aitor Paredes and Adama Boiro are the back four. The full-backs this evening, both making their first starts of the season, Gorosabal and Boiro. Mikel Vesga has come into central midfield to partner the 21-year-old Mikel Jauregui. Iñaki Williams, Oyan Santhet, Robert Navarro and Alex Berenguer. Berenguer make up the Athletic 11. They've got a throw 5 yards inside the Arsenal half on the right. Gorosabal throws it down hard into the turf and it skids to the feet of Vivian. Across to the other centre-back, Paredes. Plays back to Simon. Marino is highest up the field for Arsenal there. Puts the pressure on. Long ball downfield. Headed away by Mosquera. Nodded infield there by Vesga. Now Gyökeres is going to chase a ball to the edge of the Athletic area. It was awkward that. Bounced high and eventually volleyed away by Simon. Out for a throw to Arsenal, taken quickly. Timber into the feet of Marino to Madueke, who quickly gives it back to Marino, who dummies the cross with his right foot. Low ball with his left, looking for Timber. Easily read, intercepted, and now Athletic come on the break. Chance here. Navarro wants it played into his path. Santhet plays it to the left-hand side to Iñaki Williams. Slides a pass in down the left. Berenguer gets there, slightly off balance. He's run that over the dead ball line, I think. Then he's caught by Gabriel. Picks himself up, goes down again, and eventually it goes out for a throw-in to Arsenal, and Gabriel celebrates the defensive work he's just done for his team. Paul Robinson.
A really good, quick, dissected break from the Athletic Club players there. Really swift on the turnover of possession. I think he chose the wrong option. I think the better option was Gorosabal on the right-hand side. The overlap was there, chose to pass it to this near side to Iñaki Williams. Fought really hard for the ball. They thought they should have had a free kick on 2 occasions.
Here they are again. Iñaki Williams tries to hit a curler from the edge of the penalty area. That's blocked. It comes back to Berenguer. Berenguer running with the ball at his feet. Lays it off here to Gorosabal. Jauregui, straight ball down the middle, down the channel. Good defensive work from Arsenal. There's Rice, passes it out to Eze. That's intercepted by Vesga. Comes back to Eze in the left-back position. Applause rings round the stadium from the Athletic Bilbao fans again. We're saying in the first half that you weren't able to support any other team if you lived in this city. Seen someone wearing a Dennis Bergkamp shirt in this stand, and a kid wearing a Cole Palmer shirt as well. So a couple of different bits of garb in and around us. Here's Gyökeres, gets it out to Madueke, got the pace here to go down the outside. Still Madueke pokes it towards the near post. It hits Simon, who had it covered. Stuck out a left hand, and Arsenal go close again early in this second half. It's 0-0.
He gets lucky there, Simon. The Athletic Club goalkeeper. Madueke once again does brilliantly, gets all the way to the byline. I think he gets it a little bit wrong. He looks to play it across the 6-yard box with the outside of his left boot. Actually, it hits the inside of his left boot. Could have done Simon at his near post, sticks a left hand out and gets lucky that he makes the block.
Going to see the replay of it now. Madueke looking to score that first goal for Arsenal. Yeah, and Simon, you're absolutely right, Paul. Stuck out the big left hand. The ball just hit it and spun to safety. Cleared down the left-hand touchline by Boiro. Throw in for Arsenal. Timber takes it. Early stages of the second half. Zubamendi, couple of touches. Can't quite get the ball down. Controls it on his right thigh. Passes it low to Timber. 2 red and white shirted defenders in front of him. Tries to take them both on. He's tackled there. And Berenguer is going to bring it away down the left. Fouled by Zubamendi. He's broken the play up early for Arsenal there. Conceded the free kick, and Arsenal will back off. Talking about defenders doing fabulous bits of skill in the right wing position. Last season here, you saw Harry Maguire. Do you remember that bit of magic he did to create it was Casemiro's goal, I think, wasn't it?
Casemiro's goal, yeah. It's been a good stadium for English teams, hasn't it? Obviously, Manchester United come here and winning 3-0. Not so good for them the next time they turned up here, but Tottenham ended that 17-year trophy drought in this wonderful stadium.
Free kick for Athletic. Athletic Club of Bilbao.
We must have said it 10 different ways tonight.
Different times. Simon with his right foot. Can't get it right for everyone. That's the problem. Miscue there from Madueke. Trying to hit it first time on the half volley. Haureguita lobs one forward. Mosquera heads it away. Marino climbs highest. Heads it to his left where he finds Eza. Eza back to Calafiori. Good start to the second half made by Arsenal. Change kit this evening. Dark blue shirts. Red stripes down the arms. Looks like gold numbers on the back actually. White shorts. Or grey shorts I would say. Grey shorts and grey socks. And here's Gabriel, the captain, with the bright yellow captain's armband wrapped around his left bicep. Timber on the right hand side. Max Daumann on the bench for Arsenal this evening. If he does get onto the pitch tonight, he'll become the youngest player ever to feature for Arsenal in European competition. Still 0-0. Calafiori stoops, chests one down. Pass goes astray inside the Arsenal half. Marino slides in. Got the ball, says the referee. Had a good view of that. Zubamendi's there, plays it away to the right. And Madueke, one-on-one with Boiro. He'll fancy that. Athletic Bilbao getting back in numbers there. Madueke stops. Passes back to Timber behind him.
He's a good outlet, Madueke. Every time that Arsenal turn over possession, they look to this right-hand side. But now Eze's on the ball. He is noticeably staying a lot wider. The pitch is a lot bigger, which is why Arsenal are dominating possession in the second half. They're able to stretch the pitch, and the likes of Declan Rice, Zubamendi, Marino, they can dictate the pace of the game.
Champions League football on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tottenham Villarreal on the way in full. 8 o'clock tonight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as they make their return to the competition under Thomas Frank. Conor McNamara and Chris Sutton will be bringing you that one. All the other goals as they go in. Champions League final score tonight available via the iPlayer website and app, so you can keep across it all. Good control by Timber. The pass was behind him, looking for Madueke. Madueke on the angle. Oh, nearly got the cut back to Gyökeres. Foot stuck out by Vivian, blocked it. Cross comes in from Marino. Deep one. Rice is waiting at the far post. It doesn't quite reach him. Navarro controls it on the laces of his right boot. Calafiori's right behind him. Navarro's heading towards his own corner flag here. Got to be careful. Turning. Clears with his right foot. Good pressure there. No foul. Arsenal get the throw.
I tell you what, Gyökeres is going to make a difference for Arsenal this season. Watching him now, he runs tirelessly. That run there that he was in behind, the ball in from Timber was actually meant for him. Came to Madueke, but it was Gyökeres' run that caused the problems.
Athletic Bilbao thought they should have had a foul there from Eza. Attack continues. Here's Madueke onto the left foot. Wants to hit the curler. Deflected. Simon down quickly to his left-hand side. That was sneaking in at the near post. Good save by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he does well again, Madueke, on this right-hand side. That time, instead of going around the outside, he causes problems. Cuts in, goes across the 18-yard box, tries to fire it across Simon into the far right-hand corner. Takes 2 deflections and was creeping in at the near post, but Simon was alert to it.
Now, Paul gave me this fantastic stat ahead of this game, which I'd not seen, that Arsenal are trying to do something here, Paul, that no team has ever done in the history of the European Cup, and I'm going to allow you to deliver it when we get the next break in play. Calafiori wins it for Arsenal inside his own half. Zubamendi gets them moving quickly, diagonal to Madueke, seeing more of the ball in this second half. Madueke running at Boiro. 2 defenders there, they can't deal with him at the moment. Then Boiro does well, watches the ball, gets a left foot on it. Madueke's tackled, and Boiro is able to bring it away down the left. Pass up towards Santhet, he couldn't control it. It's gone out for a throw-in to Arsenal, which Timber takes. Timber throws back to Mosquera. Mosquera passes to Declan Rice. Rice inside his own half, forward to Zubamendi, who looks busy. Oh, he's tackled there. Santhet charging forward for Athletic. Great support on the right-hand side from Iñaki Williams into the Arsenal penalty area. Onto that left foot, chops onto the right, hits the shot. Easy save for Raya. Low down to his left. This game is certainly livening up.
Certainly opening up, and that's thanks to Arsenal being a little bit more proactive, playing on the front foot, but in turn they've left themselves a little bit more exposed. Iñaki Williams, that time it was on the right-hand side. He gets his shot in on his right foot on an angle from about 12 yards. David Raya perfectly positioned, had his angles absolutely sussed to perfection, went down to his near post and made a comfortable save. But the first real save that Raya's had to make.
Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Ernesto Valverde, the 61-year-old, in charge of Athletic, in the black t-shirt, black trousers and trainers this evening. Out on the edge of the pitch, trying to get some instructions across to his players. Mosquera at walking pace inside his own half. Low little pass to his right to Zubamendi, across to Timber. Some of the subs are getting a shout here for Athletic, so I think they're about to make at least one change. Timber gets the ball on the right. When they do make that change, that'll be the time for Paul's killer stat.
I tell you what, you're bigging it up, but I've just had to quickly go back through my WhatsApp messages because I deleted it once I sent you it. I thought that's a you stat, not me.
Okay, I've got it. I've got it if you need it. I think you'll remember it. Here's Rice up towards Timber. Good turn inside the Athletic Bilbao half. That's a ridiculous foul from Paredes. Grabbed him with both arms, slung him left, right, left again, threw him to the floor, and then looks at the ref and says, how's that a free kick? Well, it is.
Yeah, there's definitely a free kick there. Almost manhandled him there inside his own half. Arsenal growing in confidence as the game goes. They'll take more and more chances going forward. Defensively solid, but they will put free kicks forward. Madaweki once again on the ball on this right hand side.
Yeah, he's looked a real threat for Arsenal in this second half. Teasing Boyro this time. Dummies the cross with the left foot. Back onto that left foot. Here's Rice. Receives the low pass from Madueke. Back to Zubamendi, across to Gabriel. Gabriel's 40 yards out inside left channel. Eza tackled. The move loses a little bit of momentum, but Gabriel picks it up again. Passes into the centre circle to find Zubamendi. Cross to Mosquera. Unai Gomez is waiting to come on, an attacking midfielder for Athletic. A lot of Arsenal possession at the moment. Here's Mosquera. Coming up to an hour played in the game. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 0. Cue more raucous singing and chanting from these fabulous home fans. Eza, diagonal ball left to right, finds Madueke, kills it stone dead, first touch, little trick, right foot down by the byline, digs the cross straight into the arms of Simon.
That's the first thing he's got wrong tonight. Madueke did everything right, controlled it with the outside of his left foot, went round the outside, and then looks to pull the cross across the edge of the 6-yard box. He just dinks it harmlessly into the goalkeeper's arms.
Simon, having caught it, went quickly with the clearance, and it looked to be a one-on-one between Iñaki Williams and Mosquera, and the Athletic fans are complaining they felt Mosquera was holding Iñaki Williams back. To be honest, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So Unai Gomez is coming on for Robert Navarro. So Arsenal this evening, Paul, are trying to do something no other team has done in the history of the European Cup Champions League, which is...
Well, the longer it goes without them scoring, they're getting further away from it. But should they win tonight, they'll become the first side to ever beat Spanish teams 6 games in a row in the European Cup and Champions League. So basically the whole history of the competition.
Yeah.
Having taken down Real Madrid twice, Seville twice and Girona.
Yeah.
That'll be 6. A competition first.
Yeah, Real Madrid last season in the quarter-finals. Sevilla, home and away group stages the year before that. Girona last season as well. That's the 5. 6 wins in a row would be a first ever in the history of this grand old competition. Mikel Arteta's not bothered about that. He wants 3 points, at the very least 1 point. This game is well balanced. Calafiori plays back to Raya, all in green, the Arsenal keeper, the Spaniard. Mosquera, another Spaniard, out to Timber in the right back position, chased back by Gomez. Home fans love that. Oh, great run from Timber, flicks it over Boyro. Paredes comes across, has a hack at it. That turns into a decent pass here for Gomez. Curly hair bouncing on top of his head, plays it to Boyro, continues his run on the left. Good block by Mosquera. Mosquera muscles him off the ball as well, passes down the right to Timber, lay off here to Madueke. Sliding challenge, important one from Howard Geetha. The fans are on their feet, and look at that response there between player and fans. Again, all as one, fantastic.
It's becoming a lot more open, the game now. Arsenal taking chances in the final third, looking to move the ball forward. The home side sensing that. Both teams at the moment looking to win the game. We're at a point in the game where there's an opportunity now to go on. Neither side are really thinking about a point at this stage, both wanting to take all 3.
Giant flags flying in the home end away to our left. Athletic Bilbao intercept, break up an Arsenal attack. Pass forward, no good. Gabriel is there into the last half hour of the game. Arsenal yet to make a change. Calafiori's got space to work with on the left. Eza, edge of the penalty area, trying to make himself available. They're going to switch left to right again, look for the danger man Madueke. Ball bounces in front of him. He leaps high, controls it athletically, rolls it back into the path of Timber, onto his right foot, stands the cross up into the box. Eza trying to get on the end of it, beaten to that. Header finds Zubamendi, the clearing header. Now Calafiori, pacey cross, block, ball goes straight up in the air. Vivian gives Gorosabal a shout. Gorosabal ducks, Vivian volleys the ball away, and Arsenal are about to bring Leandro Trossard into the game. He's taking a big slug of water from a bottle as Mikel Arteta has his left arm around the Belgian shoulder. gives him the last instructions in his shell-like, and then gives his hair a good old ruffle for good measure. Timber, that was a foul on Santhet, but advantage play. Gomez is all on his own here for Athletic, so he's just got to hold on to the ball, keeps possession, plays back into his own half, 0-0.
Looks sharp, Gomez, since he's come on this left-hand side in place of Navarro. Navarro tended to drift inside a lot, but Gomez has come on defensively, hasn't shirked his duties, made 1 or 2 good tackles. His first thought every single time is to get past Timber. He's caused Timber a problem since he's come on the field.
PSV 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 2. Tottenham Villarreal commentary on the way this evening at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night we're in Munich for Bayern Munich against Chelsea. We'll have updates on Liverpool Atletico. The highlight show BBC 1 tomorrow night at 10:40. And BBC 2 11 o'clock, where they'll have highlights of Newcastle, Barcelona and Manchester City, Napoli, both of which you can hear as commentaries on the BBC Sounds app. Newcastle on 5 Live and Manchester City on Sports Extra. Good chasing down the left by Gyökeres. Again, tireless work, Paul, to win a throw-in for Arsenal.
I really like what I see with Gyökeres. I think he'll be a real asset to Arsenal this season, having already scored his goals, like I said, 3 and 4 this season. Got that head injury, though. It's looking like that might be his last act of the evening.
Yeah, Gyökeres coming off. Just had the attendance in. Just over 51,000. 2,700 Arsenal fans up high away to our right. Gyökeres off. Trossard on for Arsenal with 25 minutes left to play. Game is still 0-0. Giant banner was unfurled before the game, written in big block capitals in Spanish, which our producer George thankfully translated for me.
Has it taken this long?
Yeah,
we're just 60 minutes into the game.
Throw into the near post. No, that's unfair. He passed it to me right at the start. Marino's going to chase the ball here in the penalty area. Paredes nipped in on a really important header for Athletic. It's cleared away and out for an Arsenal throw. It just read, "We will be by your side until the last day." And that dropped down from in between those 2 tiers away to our left. Another couple of changes coming for Athletic, but here are Arsenal with Eze. Eze stands the ball up to the far post. Marino's header, Simon makes the save. Marino was stretching, he was trying to direct it back to where it was coming from, couldn't get the power or the placement.
Yeah, it's half a chance for Arsenal. It's a ball from the left-hand side from Eze. First time he's really got round his fullback and attacked his fullback in the game. Stands up a good cross, it's just a little bit behind Marino. Stretching, reaching, but managed to get some kind of purchase on it, but harmlessly into the goalkeeper's arms.
Athletic 0, Arsenal 0 in the Champions League. Iñaki Williams chests it down, plays back into his own half to Vivian. Vivian again on the ball, rolls his pass low to Paredes, the other centre-back. Back to the goalkeeper Simon, all in light orange. Timber heads it away. Madueke flicks the head around the corner for Marino to chase. Marino then has to block that pass forward down the left-hand side from Paredes, and it goes out for a throw. So striker Gorka Gurutheta is about to come on for Athletic Bilbao, and also left-back Yuri Berchiche.
Surprised he didn't start, actually.
Yeah.
Berchiche is a real attacking threat. I think that might be what the manager's thinking.
Throw in for Athletic. Gomez flicks the header behind him. Mosquera is there for Arsenal. Christian Norgard, by the way, is on the bench for Arsenal tonight, yet to feature for the club since joining from Brentford in the summer. And Piero Hincapié as well, yet to make his debut, the Ecuadorian defender who's on loan from Bayer Leverkusen. He is also on the bench this evening. Timber carries the ball up to the halfway line for Arsenal. Back to Zubamendi, passes it to Mosquera, across to Gabriel. Gabriel trucks forward. Berenguer gets in his way, and Gabriel panicked a little bit there, just sort of ran into Berenguer and fouled him. I think that's going to be a free kick. It's either a free kick for Athletic or a throw-in on the right. Gabriel certainly had the last touch. Right, change is coming. Oyan Santhet, attacking midfielder, is coming off to be replaced by Gurutheta. And the other change is left-back for left-back. So yes, Boiro comes off, who started this evening, and Berchiche comes on.
Be interesting to see what he does now, because I think this will be a little bit of a shuffle of the pack. Berenguer, who's played as a number 9 alongside Williams. You know what the home fans think of that immediately. Gurutheta Goes up there,
straight
down the middle. Just having a quick look now. So Williams has gone to the right.
Berenguer off him, you think? Maybe.
Berenguer's playing in the number 10 role.
Yeah,
Williams out to the right, and Gomez on the left-hand side. Slight change in formation.
Mosquera wins a header on the halfway line. Marino's pass forward is blocked. Berenguer in that number 10 role, onto the ball quickly, finds Iñaki Williams. He's got Calafiori backpedaling. Turns to his left, then to his right. Calafiori sticks out a leg, tries to block the cross, headed away by Gabriel. Haureguitha outnumbered on the edge of the box. Eza and Calafiori play a 1-2, back to Eza. He's lost it. Trossard steps in. Trossard dribbling into danger, definitely fouled on the edge of the box. Referee spotted that. Will be a free kick. Iñaki Williams hits the shot anyway, and Raya tips it over the bar, but Arsenal get the free kick. So Marino for Arsenal now furthest forward. Paul with Trossard sort of midfield, one of the midfield three,
behind him. Well, Trossard will be slightly more advanced than Marino. Well, Trossard at the moment, he's going to receive treatment on the edge of his own 18-yard box. As they've interchanged, it's kind of it's a false nine, really, isn't it? I mean, you see Marino now, he's anchoring in that midfield role, so when Trossard does get up, he'll be the most advanced player. But the interesting one, the changes from Ernesto Valverde, the Athletic manager. You know, you look at their draw, he's thinking, right, it's 0-0 here, I've got 20 minutes to go, throw caution to the wind. This home form could be important to get out the league phase. I mean, they've got PSG at home, they go to Dortmund, they've got Atalanta away, they play Sporting here, they go to Slavia Prague, they've got Karabag at home, and then they go to St James's Park. So this form here and getting a result here, I think he's going for the 3 points here.
Berenguer and Gomez just make a bit of a mess of an attacking opportunity for Athletic there. The ball is back with Raya. Raya saw the pass and then whips it perfectly into the feet of Timber. Timber's in the right back position, plays further back to Mosquera. Mosquera's done really well for Arsenal, 21 years old, first appearance in the Champions League, has settled in very nicely, having signed from Valencia. Rice carries the ball forward to the halfway line, chips it down the left, nearly a mess up on the edge of the penalty area between Simon and Paredes. Paredes sliding in, clears the ball away. Arsenal come again with Eza. Little drop of the shoulder, glides past a couple of defenders, still going. Eza feeds it forward to Trossard. Trossard, edge of the area, trying to wriggle into space to tee himself up for a shot, and the referee's given a free kick against him for an arm which has come out and caught one of the Athletic players, Vivian, in the face.
Yeah, he's clever, Vivian. He's an experienced defender. 26-year-old Spaniard, knows exactly what he's doing. Trossard looked like he'd got the better of him. There was a flailing arm. Vivian made it look a lot worse than it was.
Right, another change coming for Arsenal. Eza coming off. 20 minutes to play. First Champions League game for him. Never really got into it this evening. It is going to take a bit of time. Looks slightly frustrated as he comes off. Martinelli comes on.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with that change. I think he's been poor tonight, Eza. He's come inside far too much, rather than taking on his fullback, getting around the outside, putting crosses into the box. I think it's been a quiet game for him. They've played a lot dominantly down the right-hand side because of the quality of Madueke.
All the reaction to tonight's football in the Football Daily podcast for you later on this evening. There for your first thing every morning. BBC Sounds app. Trossard flicks it forward. Martinelli first touch, heads it down. Oh, brings it on. Martinelli clean through on goal. One-on-one, right-footed under the keeper, and Martinelli is on and scores immediate impact from the Arsenal substitute. He had the pace to get away, but he had the cool head as well when the chance presented itself. Slid it under the keeper with his right foot, and Arsenal's Champions League campaign is up and running. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, there he is, the super sub. Mikel Arteta, you can praise him for his proactive change there. Martinelli with his first touches of the game. Runs through from midway and through the opposition's half. Goes through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It's not the most convincing of attempts to save it from Simon. Goes underneath the Athletic goalkeeper, but it's brilliant from Arsenal. It's a simple ball over the top into Martinelli. His first touch is good, his second touch is even better. Comes from an Athletic goal kick that's headed back down the field. Arsenal turned defence into attack with two headers, helped over the top. Really quick thinking by Trossard into the path of Martinelli. His second touch is absolutely superb. Takes it away from the on-rushing defenders, opens himself up, almost telegraphs it with his right foot, looks to go across Simon. It's not the greatest of finishes, it goes right underneath the goalkeeper, but he won't care.
Talking about squad strength and options, Paul. Eza off, Martinelli on. They offer different things. Martinelli has that quicksilver pace, and he was perfect for that situation.
He was so sharp, so quick, alert to the situation, and you've got to give him a lot of credit for being that ready coming off the bench.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a snapshot, a goal with his first touch.
Crikey.
That was 2 touches on the halfway line, a run half the length of the field, and a finish.
Yeah.
Superb attitude to come off the bench and do that.
Yeah, under pressure from the defender as well, and he very nearly, with one of the touches, didn't get it past him, but kept his head and just managed to squeeze the shot under the body of Unai Simon. First goal of the season for Gabriel Martinelli. As it stands, Arsenal heading for 3 points in their first Champions League outing of the season. As I said at the start as well, only 2 English teams, I beg your pardon, have won in Bilbao against Athletic in European competition. Manchester United last season 3-0, Europa League semi-final. And that great Liverpool team back in the early 80s. So Arsenal trying to become the third. Gabriel to Calafiori, intercepted by Gorosabal. Athletic really have to come at Arsenal now, which may open further opportunities for Mikel Arteta's team. Paredes in the centre circle, lofted ball down the middle of the pitch, bounces once inside the Arsenal area, and David Raya chests it down. So just over 15 minutes to play. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 1, and Union Saint-Gilloise still 2-0 up away to PSV Eindhoven.
It's not been the most fluid and the most prettiest of performances, but it's been a job well done at the moment for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal team. You can see the way that they set up, they battled and they scrapped in the first half. They saw it through, they've kept a clean sheet, they've got their goal away from home, and as you say now, Athletic have got to come out, and that might suit Arsenal with the pace that they've got on the pitch, and Martinelli, Trossard and Madueke especially on this right hand side.
Yeah,
at the moment it's a typical away performance, isn't it?
Sense an extra urgency from Athletic Bilbao. Don't forget, Arsenal have only conceded the 1 goal so far this season. That was the stunning Soboslai free kick at Anfield. That's a foul, I think, by Mosquera. Inside the Athletic Bilbao half, eager to win the ball back to get Arsenal on the front foot, but he's just been a little too enthusiastic in the challenge, so that'll be a free kick. So just about 15 minutes to play. Arsenal are 1 up, and of course their next game at home against Manchester City. Massive game on Sunday. We've got commentary of it on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Athletic Bilbao get the game underway again. Paul Robinson here in the San Mamés, watching with us, has got a Sable, stocky little right back for Athletic, plays it back to Vivian, into the midfield, Vesga back to the goalkeeper, Simon chips it down the middle of the pitch. Gabriel wins the header. Martinelli's got the pace again, nearly gets there ahead of Haureguitha, who did well to bump him off the ball, and also plays a good pass down the right, and Gorosabal, the right back, is flying forward. Danger for Arsenal here. Calafiori shuts it down, gets his body in the way, makes the block, throw in for Athletic.
Defended very well in those areas, Arsenal. Calafiori that time, they do tuck in narrow as a back four when they're out of possession, but when they need to, Calafiori reads the game really well, goes out to the full-back, closes the ball down and makes the block. It's about concentration now for Arsenal, seeing the job through. David Raya's goal has not really come under much threat defensively. They've been very good.
Throw in now that Arsenal have to defend, aim towards the penalty spot. Gabriel heads it away, right-footed shot is driven low. Marino makes the block, played back there by Guruthaita. Another cross comes into the area, header from Gomez straight at Raya, easy save, clash of heads again. We're going to get another stoppage in play. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 1, and David Raya is trying to get the medical staff to hurry up here, sense of some urgency there. Marino is there. More blood?
Not sure.
We're
still waiting on the blood camp. It's not zoomed in enough yet, but they're pretty adamant to get the doctors and physios on. Looked a nasty clash of heads, but again it's good defending from Arsenal. Yes, there's been a header on the goal, but the header on goal has come from 16-17 yards out. The cross came into the box, didn't really have any pace on it. The header came in, and it's just such a simple catch for David Raya. It was an opportunity, it was a chance, but it's from distance. I mean, I could still catch a ball from a header from that distance now. I fancy my chances.
So, while we wait for the players to receive treatment here, Paul, just talk to me about Simon and the goal he conceded, Spain's number 1 there. Martinelli is racing through in the one-on-one, and it's one where you look at it, it's quite close to him, but it sort of sneaks underneath him between left hand and left leg. Is that an awkward one where that ended up for him?
That's exactly what we talk about all the time, don't we? We talk about it quite often when goals go in, just down by the side of goalkeepers' feet. I mean, we see a lot of goalkeepers now making blocks with their feet, and that's something that they practice in training, something that we never used to practice. It was always get down, get your hands to it, and your natural instinct as a goalkeeper is to get down, get your hands to it. But actually, when you talk to strikers and you listen to strikers in the way that they're coached, that's the place that they look. Now, I don't think for 1 minute that's what Martinelli meant to do, because he opened himself up and he looked to go around Simon. He actually didn't quite get his shot, and it went right in between. Well, you can imagine yourself standing. If you want to put your left hand down on the ground, between your foot and the ground, that's exactly where the ball went through. Difficult place, but the goalkeeper could have made it easier just by booting the ball away, but that's technically not what you're taught and technically not correct.
So the Athletic Bilbao player who took a whack to the head here is up and on his feet, and is holding a bandage, a dressing, a cover, a white cover to his left cheek. That is the substitute Unai Gomez, who's slowly making his way back towards the halfway line to try and get himself back into the action when we get back underway. Merino, slightly concerningly for Arsenal, is still flat on his back. I mean, he's not out cold, because he's been talking to the Arsenal medical staff, and they're now hauling him up into a sitting position, but they've been taking their time, quite rightly as well. Any clash of heads, any bang of heads.
Just getting to look at the incident again, and it was Merino who was going forward onto the ball. Substitute Gomez was in front of him. He tried to flick it on, but as he flicked it on, Merino got the whole load of blonde hair and head right in front of his nose and teeth. Painful one for Merino.
Right, 12 minutes left of this game, plus a fair bit of added time now. Marino's okay, up and moving for Arsenal. He is now just breaking into a gentle jog down behind the dead ball line away to our left. David Raya has the ball at his feet. Union Saint-Gilloise will have a third goal, debut in the Champions League away from home in their first game, and they're 3-0 up away to PSV. We've got commentary of Tottenham Villarreal to come tonight from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we'll keep you updated on Real Madrid at home to Marseille, Juventus at home to Borussia Dortmund, and Benfica hosting Karabag. Unai Gomez is going to have to come off, so he walked back towards the halfway line. He's gone and sat straight down in the dugout. Athletic are about to make a couple of changes here. I can see subs getting ready to go. One of them is Alejandro Rego. The other one is Nico Serrano. Here's Iñaki Williams, tries something very audacious from the angle 30 yards out and has accidentally kicked Calafiori, and now Iñaki Williams claims that Calafiori's making a meal of it and Arsenal are trying to run the clock down. Calafiori does seem in some pain. The referee doesn't seem too fussed about it. He's telling Raya just to stay where you are, keep the ball, come on, let's get this game going again. And Athletic wait to make the double change. But this is what it's all about as well, isn't it, Paul? You know, Mikel Arteta was asked a lot of this last night about the experience. You know, Pep Guardiola always said that about Manchester City in the Champions League. You have to have season after season after season of experience, of these stadiums, of these trips, of these big games, as Athletic make one of these changes right now. So Gomez is coming off, is already off, receiving treatment in the dugout, and Vesga is the other one to come off. Serrano and Rego come on. But that's what they were asking, Paul, about the experience Arsenal now have and the strength in depth they now have, where effectively last season they sort of ran out of players almost.
And this is the first Champions League game of the season. This is something that they're going to have to manage throughout the whole season, competing on both fronts, as we've seen. We've seen them fall away both in Europe and domestically, and that's it now for Mikel Arteta. It's become the time where you've had the summer, you've spent 250 million, you look at the players that you brought in, you've got 2 players in every single position. Now the time for potential, it's time to turn that expectation and potential into actually delivering something, and you say the experience and everything will stand these players in great stead. It's coming to places like this. It might not be pretty. This hasn't been the best ever Arsenal performance, but you're looking at the score sheet, there's no pictures on the score sheet. It says 1-0, and at the moment they've got 3 points.
Martinelli's goal in the 72nd minute. David Raya clears the ball downfield from the free kick. Trossard wins the header, volleyed away by Paredes, and Iñaki Williams will chase that. Mosquera heads it back towards Raya. Raya's not really there. He had to come racing across from the left-hand side of the field. Got there, slices the clearance away. That was brought down brilliantly by Berenguer. Knocks it past Timber. Timber will beat him to the ball and play it back to Mosquera again. Mosquera, edge of his own penalty area, never flustered. Trossard tries to turn it quickly around the corner. Runs to Madueke. Madueke keeps the ball in play, but can't find his teammate Zubamendi, and Danny Vivian passes back to Unai Simon. 80s references all over the place this evening. Union Saint-Gilloise' third goal has been scored by Kevin McAllister, brother of Alexis. Producer George writes, not the Home Alone character. Good line, like that, George. 8 minutes plus added time remaining. Arsenal leading 1-0. Berenguer holding off Merino. Berchiche plays the ball down the left-hand side. Berenguer all over the back of Mosquera, wrestles him to the floor. That is going to be a free kick for Arsenal. And you can see now Athletic Bilbao's players are getting frustrated, desperately trying to make something happen, and Arsenal are just killing the game.
He's going to be a good player, that Mosquera. He's going to be a really astute signing. 21 years old, I think what they paid for him, 15 million. I think he's going to be a really clever acquisition. Sitting in there like he's played there for years alongside Gabriel this evening. Looks very experienced, and just that incident there, running the game down, knowing when and where to win a free kick, slow the game down and break the play up.
Trossard's down on the floor, challenging for a high ball inside the Athletic half. Comes back into the Arsenal half. Raya is there, 10 yards outside his penalty area. Long spinning clearance downfield, headed away over the head of Madueke. Arteta looking slightly anxious there. Pleased with the challenge from Marino to win the ball. Lovely pass with the outside of his left foot to find Trossard, who looked for the early cross to the far post towards Martinelli, blocked, and behind it goes for the corner. League Cup commentaries tonight. So in 15 minutes time, Sheffield Wednesday Grimsby gets underway on Sports Extra. 8 o'clock kickoffs. Brentford Villa is on Sports Extra 2. Palace Millwall on Sports Extra 3. And if you're enjoying the coverage from the World Athletics Championships, big race tomorrow, 2:20. We'll come into 5 live from Tokyo, the men's 1500 metre final. 3 Brits in that: Josh Kerr, Jake Whiteman and Neil Gawley. World Athletics on BBC 2 from 11 in the morning, and then in the afternoon on BBC 1 from 2 o'clock. Athletic fans now. Oh, yellow card for Madueke, was it, for delaying the taking of the corner? I think it's Madueke who's been booked there. Now waits to take the corner away to our right. Referee's still not happy because he spotted some pushing and shoving from young Mosquera inside the 6-yard box. Arsenal happy with the time ticking away. 6 minutes plus added time to go. Now Madueke takes it with his left foot into the far post. Gabriel's down inside the box, nodded forward by Zubamendi. Calafiori has a strike at the ball, didn't get much on it. Break on for Athletic. And here's the man they want to have the ball as well. It's Iñaki Williams moving at high speed down the inside left channel. Infield onto his right foot. The ball hits the back of Zubamendi. Berenguer turns, but turns into trouble. Declan Rice strides away. Imposing figure. Chased by Howder Guithru, holds him up. Rice holds him off. The referee says that's actually a foul on Declan Rice. And Arsenal celebrate the award of the free kick.
Yeah, the locals are not happy with that decision. And do you know what? You can kind of understand it because the referees let things similar go, what Arsenal players have committed, and actually they're deep in his own half. Declan Rice knew what he was doing, drew the foul, referee immediately gave the free kick, and the home support there, as you can hear, felt that they should have potentially had more free kicks for similar offences, let's say.
Paul Robinson here with us in Bilbao. Tomorrow night it's Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin in Munich for Bayern Munich against Chelsea. Updates of Liverpool Atletico. Thursday night we're at St James's Park on 5 Live. Full commentary of Newcastle Barcelona. Manchester City Napoli on Sports Extra. Raya thumps it downfield with his right foot. Got a Sable, sort of leans into the ball, gets the touch there, has to keep it in play. Clearance on the turn, ends up spinning away here to Timber. Timber brings it forward for Arsenal, is able to get his head up. Trossard was in a bit of space there. He's annoyed that Timber didn't deliver that cross because Trossard felt he was in a good position. Clever little nutmeg from Madueke. Takes him past Berchiche. Back it comes to Zubamendi. Zubamendi passes back to the halfway line. Arsenal happy to keep the ball at the moment, leading 1-0. Martinelli's goal. He'd only been on the pitch for about a minute or so, having replaced Eze, and it was Trossard's clever little ball forward from the halfway line that got Martinelli racing away. Definite foul from Zubamendi. I'm surprised the ref's not given that. Now he's going to let that go. There was another foul on Marino after that, but anyway, Arsenal have it now with Martinelli, and Martinelli's moving at speed, takes on Gorosabel, beats him into the penalty area, looks for the cutback, Trossard controls, dummies the shot, deflected, and in! And that will be an Arsenal win in Bilbao. A massive win at the start of this Champions League campaign, and it's another substitute that has done it for Mikel Arteta. Deflected shot, high into the net, Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2.
All 3 points heading back to London tonight. Good play again by the substitutes, and it's Martinelli that's absolutely superb down that left-hand side. Immediately he gets it, his first thought is to go forward. They are going to check on VAR to see if there's any infringements in the build-up. As you can hear, the home fans are on the back of the referee. The home players are all surrounding the referee. But it looks at the moment that Trossard has put this game out of reach.
The only thing I can see there, Paul, and we mentioned it in the commentary, was Zubamendi's challenge on the halfway line. But that is way back. You know, they always talk about the attacking phase of play. Where has it started? Is that crucial before Arsenal score the goal? Well, yes, to my mind, because that's how they get the ball. Here's the challenge on the halfway line. At the time, I thought that was a foul from Zubamendi. The assistant referee's close by. Well, maybe not, actually.
No,
maybe not.
There's not a lot in that. I think that's a very harsh foul if that's given as a foul. Referee sees the incident, puts his arm in the air and says, no, carry on. There's no way that's going to get given as a foul. I think the Athletic player made a lot of it. Zubamendi, there was contact, but after that, what ensued? Arsenal was swift, precise, down the left-hand side. Martinelli, absolutely superb again. Pulled it back to Trossard. First touch was brilliant. Second touch was the finish, and the goal stands.
Quite rightly, the goal stands. Leandro Trossard gets his first of the season, as does Gabriel Martinelli. And again, we make the point about the Arsenal squad strength. Ball loose in the Arsenal box. 89th minute of the game now. Arsenal are home and hosed, it looks like. 2-0 up. And, you know, it has been a tricky fixture tonight. It always looked that way right at the start of the campaign. 6 English teams in the Champions League phase, 5 Spanish teams, loads of Premier League against La Liga. Got another one tonight, Tottenham Villarreal. Tomorrow, of course, Liverpool Atletico, and Thursday Newcastle Barcelona. But Arsenal look like they've put this game to bed. They're going to make a couple of late changes as well. Athletic still battling. Here's Berenguer. Little ball to Inaki Williams. Edge of the penalty area. Lays it back. Howard-Geitha. Was he caught by Trossard? No contact. Howard-Geitha threw himself to the floor, in which case that was simulation. Then he dives in, makes a tackle. It runs to Timber. Timber clears it. Madueke might get there first. He doesn't quite. Mikel Arteta furiously waving his Arsenal players in the blue shirts back to defend. He wants this clean sheet. He doesn't want any late drama. Arsenal under pressure. Cross comes in. Raya jumps and makes a confident, easy claim.
I'll tell you what, I hope the referee hasn't got any holidays coming up in Bilbao, because he certainly won't be welcome back. He'll do well to get out the stadium tonight.
Rice does well for Arsenal. No, he doesn't. His pass is given away. That's a wonderful bit of control there from Gurutheta. Plays the ball to the right-hand side. Berenguer tries to get a low cross in. Trossard back there for Arsenal. Great bit of defending. And then he is fouled by Nico Serrano, and the Athletic fans, again, they don't like it. They think Trossard has bought that. But what he's done is he's stopped. He's waited for the contact. When it comes, they're always giving us free kicks.
Yeah, it's clever play. It's called running the clock down, running the game down. It's been away from home in a Champions League game, been 2-0 up, heading towards the 90th minute. It's good game management. And I think the thing that you look at Arsenal's performance tonight is that's maybe the difference of what we've seen in recent years. They found a way and they've got over the line, whereas if this game had gone by and we were interviewing Mikel Arteta at the end of the game and it was 0-0, I don't think he could have had any complaints without the real creativity, without any real spark. If this game had finished 0-0, I don't think we'd have been surprised. But actually the substitutions that he made, the proactiveness that he showed, bringing on Martinelli, bringing on Trossard, and at that stage in the game, sensing he could make a difference, you've got to give him a lot of credit, because it's changed the game, it's won the game.
He will be absolutely delighted. Loads of his family in here this evening. The family home about an hour away from here. Mikel Arteta, born in San Sebastian, Basque born, of course, could have played, qualified to play for Athletic Bilbao, but here he is as the opposition manager, and Arsenal are going to come away with a win. Yellow card given to Zubamendi for a delay in the restart of the game. Double change for Arsenal. 2 late debuts in this game for Arsenal. Hincapié and Norgard, Christian Norgard, are both on. Calafiori and Madueke were the 2 players to come off, and let's repeat before the final whistle blows, because I'm pretty sure that Arsenal are going to get this win. 6 minutes of added time to be played though. Flick on, bounces inside the Arsenal area. Inaki Williams sticks a foot out. Didn't get the touch he wanted, and Raya is able just to bend down and pick the ball up. They are going to become the first team in the history of the European Cup Champions League to beat Spanish opposition 6 games in a row. And when you consider how many good teams there have been down the years in this competition, it's a quirk. It's a quirky statistic, but still, it's impressive. And here they come again, Arsenal. This is Norgard. First touches the ball as an Arsenal player. Driving run down the right-hand side, looking to get the cross in. 2 defenders there. It's blocked, but Norgard has managed to keep it. Plays it back to Rice. 4.5 minutes to play. Arsenal leading 2-0. Timber chased down here by the substitute Rego. Timber holds him off. Plays back to Mosquera. And Mosquera, a couple of touches just short of the halfway line on the right. Forward to Timber. There's Rice. Lovely from Arsenal. Flipped infield by Rice again. Norgard swings a left boot at the ball and actually misses it this time. Here's Berenguer, and then Timber slides in, makes the challenge. Berenguer goes down as if he's fouled. Timber walks past him, slaps him on the backside, says, "You're not getting that decision." Throw in for Athletic.
Yeah, they've done really well, Arsenal, in the latter part of this second half. once they got that first goal, they knew that Athletic would have to open up. They would have to come after them and chase the game if they wanted to get anything out of the game. And that in turn led to the gaps, and that's probably what led to Mikel Arteta's thinking with the substitutions. The pace of Martinelli, Trossard, Madueke when he was on, he's just come off recently. When he was on, he was Arsenal's biggest goal threat. But it's been a very good away performance and a good start to the Champions League.
Yeah, excellent start made by Arsenal. Exactly what Mikel Arteta was talking about in the press conference last night. Being on it from the start, 100% concentration, imperative to start the league phase well, to not be on the back foot, and they've done precisely that. Defending to do here though, as Athletic Bilbao make ground into this Arsenal penalty area. Arsenal get there in numbers. It's Serrano who nearly wriggled his way through. Norgard was able to make the challenge. Mosquera clears up to Marino, lays it back to Rice. Rice pressure on him from Paredes, plays back to Norgard. Norgard's under pressure as well. Fouled here though by Serrano, and that is a free kick for Arsenal. I'm sure Arteta will be delighted as well. Just about a few minutes here into the legs of Norgard and Nkapie and give them a feel of playing for Arsenal.
Yeah, and get those players integrated into the side, into the squad. You said so many times about the squad and the strength and depth they've got, and also to come back into this, we've got Odegaard, Saka, Havertz and Saliba. You know, there's a lot of good players still to come back into this. They've come here tonight with 3 or 4 individuals that would have started, and like I say, the squad is looking strong. And listen, now there's no excuses now for Arsenal unless they get a load of injuries through the season or a real dip in form. There's no reason now that this squad cannot compete on both fronts. Mikel Arteta will be under pressure, to deliver.
Next challenge for them, Manchester City at home on Sunday. It's a 5 Live commentary. It kicks off at 4:30. Arsenal playing this game out in total control, leading 2-0. Martinelli in the 72nd minute and Trossard making it safe in the 87th. 2 minutes of added time to be played. Timber from the right back position, looking for the run of Martinelli. Nearly fell to Rice. Played forward by Rego. Late charge possibly from Athletic. Berenguer gets on the ball. 45 yards out on the left. Cross in, might fall to Iñaki Williams. It hit Gabriel. Fell to the Ghanaian international, but he couldn't do much with it. The ball is cleared away by Arsenal. Looking like some tired players out there now. Throw in for Athletic. Minute and a half to play. Job is nearly done. Support still fantastic inside this stadium. Just as I say that, Paul Robinson's just scribbled me a little note and said, by the way, have you seen no one is leaving this stadium?
Incredible, isn't it?
It's brilliant, Paul.
Support's phenomenal.
Yeah, really enjoyed my time here. Such hospitality we had last night, learning about Athletic Bilbao, their philosophy. The fact they're back now, top level of European football for the first time in 11 seasons. Next up for them, Dortmund away. Next up for Arsenal, Olympiacos at home. Minute to go in this game, and Arsenal lead it 2-0. And Nkapie makes a thumping tackle, but actually wins the throw for Arsenal as well. So throw in for Arsenal in the left back position. Mikel Arteta pacing pensively, hands in pockets, way down beneath us in the San Mamés Stadium. Arsenal's first ever visit, and they're going to come away with the win. Trossard makes the block, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Athletic. Into the last 30 seconds of the game, and just a few, very few, handful of the Athletic fans are finally going to beat the rush and head out of this stadium. Here's Paredes. Diagonal, lofted ball to the right. Nicely brought down by Iñaki Williams. 10 seconds to play, a little bit of skill from him. Flick pass forward to Serrano. Serrano is outnumbered by the Arsenal players wide on the right. It goes out for a throw-in. Athletic Bilbao take their throw. Arsenal players and fans look at the referee, wait for the whistle, cross into the penalty area. Timber controls it. He has time. He flicks it in the air. He clears the ball away, and Arsenal celebrate 3 points at the start of their Champions League campaign. A good win, an impressive performance. Goals from the super subs. Martinelli and Trossard have done the job, and Arsenal become only the 3rd English team to win away to Athletic Bilbao in European competition, joining Manchester United and Liverpool in achieving that feat. Not at their very best, but ruthless when the moments came. Paul Robinson.
Let's not underestimate the job that they've done. They played against a team who had the best defensive record in the league last season. They're a tough outfit. They're always going to be a hard team to beat here at home. First half wasn't pretty, but Arsenal dug in. Defensively, we know that they're good, but the changes that they've made, the signings that they've made in the final third made the difference. Madueke was excellent the whole time down the right-hand side, had a real threat. Eze down the left-hand side never really got in the game, and that forced his hand. He made the substitution. When the substitutes Martinelli and Trossard came on, it was perfect time, and the game just opened up for them. The goal appeared. Athletic had to come out, they had to press against Arsenal. The holes were there. A really good start to the season for Arsenal.
Cheers and whistles for the Lithuanian referee, and the Athletic fans, I think, complaining about the Zubamendi challenge in the moments leading up to the second Arsenal goal. But the Athletic player, I think, made too much of that. VAR quite right to allow the goal, and Arsenal, they have done the job. They've done exactly what Mikel Arteta wanted at the start of this league phase campaign. Looked like a tricky game, and they've dealt with it well. It's finished. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2.
Paul, it's all right for us to have conversations about Arsenal and strength in depth, and we've done it ad nauseum, but that is the physical demonstration of it. That's what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and it's the proactiveness of the manager to make the substitutions, and to make the substitutions at the right time, to realise, look, I've signed Eze, we need to maybe take time to integrate him into the side. Didn't play well tonight, Eze, at all. Manager realised that and made a substitution, got the first goal, made another substitution. The strength and depth is there, and when you see what's not here, if you like, Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, Saliba, Norgard came on. Let's not forget Jesus as well, who's still there in the squad. The strength and depth is there. The excuses have now been taken away from Mikel Arteta. Like I said, this game could have finished 0-0 and it would have been a good point. OK, let's build on that. But actually they've found a way, and they've won a game which maybe they might not have won last year. Really good start to the season. They only blipped the disappointing defeat against Liverpool. Come under criticism for being too defensive, protecting weaknesses rather than being proactive. But we've now seen, and in Gyökeres, I really like him, Steve. I think he's going to be a really good signing. You can see the willingness of his runs, tireless effort that he puts in the box, finds really good positions, and with the players around him, like Zubamendi, like Eze, like Madueke, Marino, the quality that's around him, he will get chances if he works in between the 18-yard box.
We've got to have a word on Martinelli here as well. I think Ali's just sort of been pushed towards the Arsenal fans there by a couple of members of the coaching staff. That's such an important goal for him.
I think it is, Stephen. That's the job now for Mikel Arteta. So Paul is quite rightly saying no excuses, but it's keeping players like Martinelli, motivated and upbeat, and proving to him that he's going to have a massive part to play in the season, and that's precisely it. It happened within a minute of him getting on the field. And as we say, different players with different profiles. That was perfect for him. I think if that ball had been flicked through to Eze, that's not necessarily his skill set. But with Athletic pushing on, it worked perfectly there. Martinelli sped in, took the goal well, and you've got two players there. I know Martinelli and Trossard, will be frustrated that they're not starting games. All you can do in that situation is come on, impact the game. That's what they've done.
And Martinelli, let's not forget, scored that huge goal in the Bernabeu last season for Arsenal, and Mikel Arteta. So the relationship that he's got with the manager, and like you said, I said it in commentary, but you've got to give Martinelli so much credit. He would have wanted to start this game tonight. He won't be happy sat on the bench, but actually he understands his role, and he knows that he's an impact player tonight, and he just has to come off the bench and do a job. And actually, with his first 3 touches of the ball, his first touch was good. His second touch, honestly, it was a brilliant touch away from the defender, and then he scores. So to have that impact and that mentality, you've got to credit his mentality for coming off the bench and doing that.
Great stuff, you two. Thank you very much indeed. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2. Perfect start to the new Champions League season for Mikel Arteta.